I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead. Shoot.
Just kill the fucking man.
About it.
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. Lobito! Got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Hey, welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. It's a good friend, Mr. BDA, and I already got the Guns and Bucho here with me. Guys, we got a fantastic show for you today. We're going to recap all the big fights that took place last evening and night, because we did have some fights from Europe as well. Gonna talk all about that and more. But before we do that, fellas, oh, and by the way, we're going to be opening up the phone lines in about half an hour, 45 minutes, depending on how the conversation goes. In any event, fellas, before we get down to the fun, let's get the business out of the way. You know the drill. You can check us out on iTunes, Spreaker, Spotify, at your leisure. That way, if you don't want to listen to it live, you can always listen to it afterwards. Don't forget that you can always hit the like button and subscribe. We insist that you hit the like button and subscribe. Really helps us out. If you want to drop a couple of shekels our way via the super chat, you can certainly do so. But it's better if you join the BDA membership program. That way you get special emojis, badges, the whole shebang. You get something in return. But like I said, the most important thing is you continue to like, subscribe, spread the BDA gospel. There's a lot of unwashed people out there that need to hear the good news. All right. Speaking of good news, who do we got in the chat here? Shout out to the Quack, Soothsayer, Jet Steelwell. Shout out to One Foot Out the Door, Rafael Garza. Joe is in the house as well. Boogie, in VM, Ralph Unreal, Facts Over Feelings Manchester, Jaguar, shout out to the Jaguar. Oscar de la Coca says, I would make Charlo a huge star, bigger than Canelo the Traitor. What the fuck? Every time I see the thumbnail, it makes my ass laugh, man. Under a Microscope, Punchy Smollett, Lobito, that's Gonzalo. And many more people to come, I'm sure. Fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Like I said, we're going to be opening up the phone lines in about 35, 40 minutes or 45, depending on how the discussion goes. Like I said, I got Bucho and the Guns here. And may I say, before any of you feel compelled to say, I told you so, I can confirm that Gonzalo and Bucho both picked the winner correctly. So you should have joined the BDA league, the prediction league. But Gonzalo actually said Stoppage, I believe. And I got to give a shout out to the Quags as well in the chat, because he also picked Charlo by Stoppage. And I got to give a shout out. Jimmy as well, yes, indeed. And when he gets here, we'll give him his props. So Jeff, I think, not Jeff, the Boston guy, Joe or Jim. Fuck, sorry, I forgot your name. He said Left Hook City. He said it was going to be the left hook. It's one thing to call the fight correctly. It's another one to call the punch correctly. In any event, who wants to go first here? Let's start with the Charlo Castaño fight. Who wants to go first?
King Bucho. Well, no, man. Yeah, yes, sir. Like Uncle Sam used to say, no. Yeah, Charlo won. Yeah, God bless America, man. We beat Argentina. Yeah, the Twin Towers fell, but not the Twin Charlitos. Oh, no, sir.
Hey, by the way, hold on. What was that? What was the exact? It was in the 9th round, right? That's when it ended.
It was the 10th round BDA. I didn't vocalize my opinion on the BDA, but I went on blood. And it was like a coincidence. I got it right, the 10th round. That's what I said on Blood Boxing, because there wasn't a show on Wednesday, and I fell asleep on Friday. But yeah, anyways, it was a pretty good fight.
Yeah, it was entertaining. Bucho, he kind of fell off though at after the 6th round, right? That's when Charlo seemed to start to take
that's what I
over.
was saying in the Discord. Yeah, the fight started to slow down, but it started pretty fucking fast and quick, and it was pretty exciting at the beginning. Started to slow down. I think Castaño started to really think twice before stepping in there. He was getting counter, and I was also surprised. Even in the exchanges, I think Castaño was losing a lot of the times. Charlo was getting always that last punch in those exchanges. He obviously made some changes. Every time he felt the ropes, Charlo, when he felt the ropes, he would immediately clinch or move. So he tried to keep the fight in the middle of the ring, which was smart. He was just better than Castaño, man. Castaño, I don't know. I mean, he should have made some changes as well. Maybe feint. Try to set up his punches a little bit better. He thought he was just going to go in there, charge forward, and again, pin Charlo on the ropes and get the best of him, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, when you fight a guy like Castaño, you need to have patience, but you also need to have punching power. Because a lot of people are saying that the punching power didn't have anything to do with it, that it was the skills. I disagree. I mean, look, if you want to be a complete fighter and you want to be pound for pound or a pound for pound contender, you need hand speed or power or a granite chin. Skills pay the bills, not necessarily, man. Not by themselves. They need to be combined with something, and that's what Charlo brings. Because he's been in competitive fights, but it's that power that ultimately takes those guys out. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it was just the power, because he was countering Castaño in there, and I thought he was wearing him down. That's the other thing I wanted to ask you. Some people are saying, well, he caught him at the right time. I think he wore him down because Castaño was slowing down and he wasn't getting that second win.
Yeah. See, the advantage, BDA, so Castano's doing the leg work. I know that Charlo's going backwards, but Castano's doing the leg work where he's putting it together with the hands, where he's chasing Charlo down. Now, when he gets to where he needs to be to land his shots, yes, Castano was landing. But he's got the extra responsibility to escape going out of the pocket. Not only do you have to chase him down, you have to get away from him. But he wasn't necessarily doing that because that's a lot of work. He's got that on his shoulders. He was holding the high guard, but Charlo was getting his get back. Yeah, Castaño was connecting, but Charlo was connecting harder on the return, where you had the extra responsibility to escape and go out of the pocket. You already chased this dude down. Now, this boxing, it's all fair and game. It's the game plans. The counter puncher, strong guy. Yeah, Castano chased him down, landed his shots, but now Castano's also got to get away from Charlo's punches. That's extra work for him. And then Charlo, being the stronger guy, he just capitalized of Castano already being there to get him back. And that's what melted him down. It's just the advantage that he was sitting there for the quick counter when you're already set to punch.
Can you guys hear me? Sorry about that, because I didn't know if my connection was... Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
I hear you fine.
All right, good. Oh, we got Jimmy jumping by. Jimmy, before you started with the I told you so's, we already talked about who got the predictions right. So, I mean, hey, listen, this fight, Jimmy, it kind of...
Why? Am I known to do that? Is that my thing?
No, I'm just saying, because I was just reading a quote from the Bible.
I know, just joking.
But Jimmy, I picked it wrong because I said, well, I think Castaño's going to outwork him like he did last time, but it seemed to go the way you said, which was that you predicted the first fight was going to go this way, which actually was going to eventually catch him with, or wear him down and catch him with something, rather.
Yeah, and let's be honest, of the two, Charlo was more fearful of Castano's power last night. That was evident. You know what I mean? If you were just watching that fight, if you were to say, okay, who's more nervous of whose power? Charlo was, and was for that fear of his power is what motivated him to keep his feet moving. Castano not fearing getting hit is what was instantly,
That's
eventually stopped him because he didn't give Charlo's power enough fear.
Jimmy, that's a great point because Castaño was getting clipped with that left hook over and over. And you're thinking, yo, bro, you're going to get... I mean, you already got stunned twice in the first fight. What do you think is going to happen in this one? And he just didn't give a fuck. He was just waiting in, trying to outwork Charlo.
His head was snapping back, man. His head was snapping back. I'm like, man, that's not good. That's going to wear anybody down. I don't care who you are,
Exactly, Bucho. And when your body's starving for oxygen, I say it all the time. The rounds go on. Your red blood cells become, more and more strained. You get less of them going through the mind, and it's easier to get knocked out when your body's starving for oxygen. Going to the brain.
Yeah, Jimmy, and wouldn't you agree that Castano has to do like the extra work? I mean, it's fair game. It's like running a 100-meter dash, and when you get to the target, you're getting hit because the other guy's just waiting for you. He's waiting for you at the finish line to fucking knock your block off. He's already ready to punch you because you had to chase him down. You threw your punches while he's waiting calmly to receive you.
Yep. He fought like a guy who's never been stopped, who never thought he could be stopped.
Mm-hmm.
He just really didn't. He didn't give Charlo's power enough respect, and it cost him the fight because that shot caught him. And to be honest with you, I'm surprised. I mean, credit to the referee, for letting the fight go forward. Maybe he realized the magnitude, being an undisputed, title involved. But I'm surprised when he got up, he was still he was done. He got up and he was still falling forward. I mean, he was a vulnerable dude. I was surprised he let Charlo jump in there and throw those last few shots on him because those are the ones that could have really hurt that kid. But I thought he had the athleticism and to make the adjustments. I didn't count on Castano just not fearing his power at all, and he fought like a man not feared it, and cost him.
Did you guys have this fight close up to the knockout, the stoppage?
I think I had Charlo up by 1 round, Bucho, myself.
Because I had it man, people are going to go crazy. I give Castaño 2 rounds, maybe 3.
You know what, man?
I don't know, man. Some people in the Discord were kind of agreeing with me, man, though. Okay. So I was
you're right. I had Charlo by 2 rounds, so in essence, I gave him like 3 rounds.
Well, actually,
yeah.
Well, Bucho, you saying you only give Castaño 2 rounds, or you said Charlo 2 rounds?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but
I want Castaño 2 rounds.
Yeah, because I was watching the fight and reading the Discord at the same time. Bucho was there as well, and a bunch of other people. It was 50-50. 50% of the people were seeing Castaño winning, 50% were seeing Charlo winning. I said, I don't know who's winning. I'm not even going to try to keep track of it. I'm just going to watch it. I do think, though, that after the 6th, I believe, that's when Charlo started to take over, and what's his name? Castaño was struggling to get his second win. But like Jimmy said, that's an excellent point. The motherfucker was fighting like he thought he was going to be able to walk through everything, which is dumb if you think about it, because he'd already been stunned in the first fight. It just goes to show you that there's a difference between bravery and stupidity. Like, again, sometimes we ask guys
he
to
was
be
confident.
Yeah,
he was confident.
Yeah, it looks like Castano was missing some speed that he had in the first fight. He didn't have the same blazing speed. Now, when you think about it, Castano might not be as heavy-handed as Charlo, but the speed made him punch harder because of the explosion. And he was missing that. I think he was chasing Charlo down more like a Canelo. He was throwing less punches, but trying to break him down, and that's where he fell short.
He looked a little more muscular, bro. I think that maybe he messed with weights. Maybe did more weights and calisthenic type exercises, put on a few, maybe even 1 or 2 pounds of muscle up top can make a difference on some fighters. I'm just suggesting that might be the reason.
In the chat, I see the... Go ahead.
No, that's fair to say that Bucho said 2 rounds because every time that Castano was landing, Charlo was getting his get back, and he was getting his get back harder because Castano was the one doing the work, having to chase him down. So when he's finished closing the distance and throwing his punches, he's kind of tired, and the dude's just waiting to explode upon you like a true counter puncher. Explode, bop, with the combination because he's got a lot of energy conserved.
Right. In the chat, Quack said I had Castaño up. Charlo was running too much, and it's true. I mean, Charlo was moving. I don't know. In my opinion, he wasn't really running. And usually, I don't like that when a guy's on the back foot. But in this fight, I mean, he was really landing some hard shots. Charlo was. So I had to give those rounds to Charlo, in my opinion. Castaño was missing a lot sometimes. And like Gonzalo said, and I said before, I mean, during those exchanges, Charlo was getting that last fucking punch, like he was closing. Yeah, he was winning those exchanges, basically.
The cleaner punches were definitely thrown by Charlo.
I want to talk about the future for Charlo, the 154-pound division, Crawford, and all that. But I forgot to say at the beginning of the show, but now that we got more people here, it's quite fortuitous. Don't forget, I'm happy to announce this week, it's going to be second Renaissance week, because next Saturday, there's not that many big fights, not much that we can build a show around on. So we're going to be doing second Renaissance week. So check us out, our non-boxing channel over the second Renaissance. People are always asking for more shows. Well, you're going to get them this week. We're going to try to go online, broadcast live as much as possible this week. And check out the second Renaissance on Odyssey as well. That's odyssey.com. It's a new platform, streaming platform. They got live streaming. They took care of the buffering issues, so it's going to be fantastic. Go check us out over there. You can say pretty much whatever you want, show whatever you want. No copyright issues, stringent.
Before doing anything else.
All right, here we go. All right, are we back? Hold on a second. I'm telling you, the fucking signal's all fucked up. All right, I think we're back. Sorry about that, fellas. The Texas Bulldog says Canada hating on BDA. Yeah, what's up, man? The fucking internet is... JumpTube says, as soon as the second Renaissance came in, the cancel team came in. Maybe that has something to do with it.
But that's not the internet, and that's OBS.
I don't know about that, Bucho. I don't know about that. Anyway, yeah, it seems like we're back here. Sorry about that, fellas. I know it seems like now every week there's something different, but we're working on the issues. What do you got? When you get this type of infrastructure, it's not easy to maintain. You think this type of infrastructure is easy to maintain? You think this type of automation is cheap? Do you know anybody that can run a 28 kilobyte processor in under half a minute here? You know anybody else that can do that? No, you don't. All right, let's get back to boxing.
Your problems are your problems.
I was quoting
Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
I will not do another financial debate.
Jimmy, how'd you know that, man? How'd you know that was a quote? Jeez Louise. All right, but hey, by the way, Jimmy was making a good point while we're off the air. He said Charlo did well. Of course, he won the fight, but the inside game, I think you're saying he did. It was the correct thing to clinch a little bit in there, right?
Yeah, because he doesn't have really. That's not his strong suit. He's very. You keep him at a certain length. Basically, you can tell he does all his work off that one stance. He's very comfortable in one form of offense. Mm-hmm. When you crowd him, like you saw the grabbing, the clinching from far away, that could actually, the judges could actually frown upon that. Some judges do. But, and I scored. Now, if you're talking about scoring, you got to, like, to Bucho's point, PBC, obviously the PBC wanted Charlo to win. So if you're going to go by judges scoring, I didn't see their cards. I haven't seen them. I don't know if somebody could post them, but I would bet you that Charlo, without even seeing him, was probably comfortably ahead on the judges' scorecards, because it always seems to go that way.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's what it was, right? The official scorecards, I think they all had Charlo way ahead, which was weird because it was a type of 50-50 fight. Everybody on the Discord was split. All of a sudden, these judges are giving him all the rounds. That was to be expected. It was another Canelo-like situation, if we're going to be talking about that. Okay, so I was going to ask you, okay, is it crazy to ask for a rubber match, considering that technically these guys are 1-1? Because, I think Castaño won the first fight, but does the knockout win erase all of that?
Not only the knockout, just everything that transpired yesterday. I didn't really see Castaño in the fight. He was in the fight, but he wasn't winning in my card. He was way behind. So it was a one-sided fight, and there's no point in a third fight.
It almost seems to me that maybe Charlo could have even done a lot better in taking him out if you decided to, like, stepping back and allowing Castaño to collapse the pocket and landing upon him when he's finishing doing all the leg work. And I'm just waiting for you to fucking touch the finish line, and I'm going to counter your head off, and for you to scoot back. You basically got no resort but to, like, put your gloves up, and Castano and Charlo was piercing through fucking Castano's guard. He's got to not only step in, step out. So Charlo could have made it a lot easier, but he's a counter puncher, not willing to take a lot of risks. So if it would go to, like, the third fight, we understand now. I think that Charlo's stronger. That he can fight the fight on his terms, whether it's being a counter puncher or being more aggressive. Like, I kind of wanted him to fight, like, step forward to Castano. He'll probably break him down and beat him up and knock him out. All right,
so no rubber match, people are saying. So now, okay, then that brings up the question. We've got Hold on a second. We've got the 154-pound rankings here. I don't think anyone wants to see Lara, myself included. I suppose one of the fights that they could make Madrimov. Yeah, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, so sorry about that.
Yeah.
The question was, is Tim Tszyu, is he too open and too green for Charlo right now, or how would you guys see that
I believe so. I believe he's too open. He's just too green right now. I think he needs more seasoning. And I don't know if he has this. I don't know if he has the power, because you're going to have to get somebody to really, like, if he really fears the power, that's going to be in his brain. But you know who I'll tell you right now, if went up to 154, just in this style, who would annihilate him? The kid who fought on the undercard, Boots, would annihilate Charlo at 154.
Whoa.
Yeah, just in this style. He'd go right upstairs, go right up to 154 and do him.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a 47-pounder. Yeah, but you know what? It's not that Tim Tszyu is very open. It's just he don't care about defense. In the beginning, he's more concerned about getting his distance. That he's focused like in the zone. That once he gets his distance, this is why I tell you that's why he does this. Because once he gets the distance, he's not missing any punches. So yeah, he's kind of predictable in the beginning. But once he gets the distance to the dude's going to town and he's not swinging where he's missing, he's constantly landing upon punches and landing continuously. But at the same time, he run the risk of getting fucking knocked out because he's stepping out there very carelessly in the beginning.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's an excellent point. Man, Jimmy, yeah.
No, go BDA.
I was saying that's a revelation because I was also going to ask Terrence Crawford. You know, he's been having the Charlos in his eyesight for a while now because of all the jawing going back and forth. And Crawford's a little bit of a Jaron Ennis type fighter. What do you think, Crawford versus Charlo? How would that look like?
Well, Charlo said prior to the fight he's done. Crawford's no longer in his purview. He just doesn't want to deal with that because he knows that's because Crawford, especially Spence, reiterated last night that he wants to go with, wants to make that fight next. That's the fight the fans want. It's like now he cares after 5 years that that's what the fight. It's kind of funny, but when he's out of complete options. But the reason why I even mentioned Boots Ennis, nobody's in 47 with a belt's going to want to fight him. It's not going to happen. I believe he's going to have to go to 154 to get one of these jamokes to even fight him. I think
now,
he cleans the clock's down at 147.
Thunderdome's a guy that I respect. His points of view, he breaks it down. He's not high on Ennis at all. So I'm curious, like before we start talking about him at 154, I would like to see him fight a solid guy at 147. Because let me tell you about Jaron Ennis. He's obviously got the firepower. I'm thinking about the chin. I'm telling you, Lipinets stunned him in that third or fourth round with an overhand right. And Lipinets is a 140-pounder. So how would, what's his name, Ennis handle Crawford's power, Spence's power? Shit, even a Ugas type guy.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
That's one of the things when you fight soft competition. Although last night, kid wasn't soft, although it looked like he had no intentions on winning. Last night looked like a kid who was just there to collect a check.
And if I'm in this team, I wouldn't pass up 47 where I have the opportunity to capture a title there, because history won't remember that nobody didn't want to fight you, that you have to go to 54 to get an opportunity. Because in the end of the day, it's how many weight divisions did you become world champion. The only guy that comes to mind is Manny Pacquiao, where he could have possibly captured 10 divisions, but he only did 8, where he skipped 2. But if you can get 47 to 54, then you're a 2-time world champion in different divisions. Ultimately, it's like a landmark when you garner like 3 or 4 divisions that you're setting records that nobody else has, right? That's all I'm saying.
No, and I agree. I agree, brother, but I just don't think anybody. Do you see Spence fighting him?
Spence, just stop it. It's fucking dangerous. He's rangy and he's good, man. The dude fucking can crack. He's more fitting to like Tommy Hearns type of power, long rangy, no? Yep,
exactly. He's probably overall has the most. I would say the 2 heaviest punches, Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis at welterweight. They got the most one-shot power, I believe, in my opinion. But then right now, Boots is just the length in his accuracy. And he's very good about his distance. He knows when to throw, what punch to throw. He's just Very, very well-schooled fighter.
Yeah, and the knockout today leaves a little bit of a mirage, like where curiosity still continues because it was kind of like in the back of the year. But that dude Custio Clayton had never been knocked out before. And same with Lipinets. He broke through that dude's guard when Lipinets was holding his arms up. So even those guys are like 140 pounds, they're tough, had never been knocked out before, but this guy did.
You know what? The thing about Errol Spence, for example, was that when he beat Chris, he had a Chris Algieri on his record that really made people go, ooh, he stopped a guy that neither Pacquiao nor Amir Khan could. That's amazing. That's impressive. Ennis hasn't done that yet. Ennis, he's fought, Lipinets is his best opponent. Delorme maybe as well, because he had punching power and he took him out in the round, but I don't know, man. It's the book's still out on him.
His resume is soft as fucking silk pajamas. There's no doubt about that. I'm going, totally by fucking eye.
Hey, speaking of silk pajamas, how about this? And we're going to talk about Canelo's influence in boxing. I mean, the fact that because Crawford unified, but he didn't really. ESPN tried to make a big deal about it, but he didn't really beat anybody of note at 40, other than Victor Posel. Canelo, he didn't beat anybody of note either, but he got more accolades for it, and he really started this whole thing about forget the zero, it's time to go for undisputed. But the other unfortunate thing that he's gotten started is that everyone's wearing pink now. Jaron Ennis was wearing pink, Castaño was wearing pink. I gotta tell you, I don't want to sound too old-fashioned, but that pink has got to go, man.
Errol Spence had pink on the other night when he fought, I believe, at least fluorescent colors, and so did the kid who lost, Chris. The kid with the both of them had OnlyFans whatever you call it.
That's unacceptable.
Website. They both had him on their shorts. Spence and that kid Colbert.
You a bitch ass.
Yeah, nigga. Chris Colbert. And man, that curse goes way back to like when Miguel Cotto got knocked out by Margarito. Man, you wear that fucking pink faggotish color. Did I say that? No, sorry.
Hey, Mr. BDA.
Yeah, go ahead, Gonzalo, man.
No, I'm sorry. Good thing I didn't mean to say that because I know you tell us fight your spirit all the time.
You modified the word, so I think we're good. But by the way, I don't think Cotto had pink on when he fought Margarito. But I get what you're saying. He did wear pink multiple times, so maybe that's part of the curse. It works. It's way in there.
Well, BDA, you know how the thing goes. Sometimes you see the world through rose-colored glasses, and you don't see it the way it really is. You're feeling a little high about yourself. You thinking that you got to do things differently because you're that much better, or you're just in a different place where that's what money will probably do to you. So if you're always like in the silk pajamas and the curse of the fucking the zebra style or the tiger pajamas that fucking Canelo was wearing, man, that's got to be cause for concern, no?
I think so. Some people might think we're crazy. I think we're onto something here.
Hey, you tripping, fool?
No, we're not.
And that was Canelo showing his wealth. Those pajamas were like $9,000 for a set of pajamas.
He needs to get right with the Lord. Let me remind you of... No, I'm serious. Let me remind you. It's Sunday. It's Proverbs 22:4. I love that quote when he says, the reward for humility and fear of the Lord is riches and honor and life. So once you get those riches, you can't switch it up and then go, well, now I'm going to be exalted. No, you got to stay humble. Fucking $9,000 pajamas. What the? Anyway. Hey,
that's when you start saying that's just silly wealth. That's just pissing money away. I personally myself would rather buy $100 pair of pajamas that are expensive and give $8,900 to a charity. But that's just me.
And and especially you get it like all lavish and you lose like the sense that now you got to turn the other way and dare to be great, and you got to be looking at a Russian that people don't want to talk about, but those dudes, they're fucking dangerous.
That's right. That's true. Yeah, man. Hey, but listen, going back to the boxing, you guys were talking about length. It doesn't get any lengthier than Freakazoid, Sebastian Fundora. I mean, this guy, he looked good against Lubin, except for that first and 7th round, I believe, when he was hurt twice. What do you guys think? Can Fundora pose a problem for Charlo?
Fundora is more of the same of Castano, but the added Goro effect, where the dude's a giant, he's gargantuan. You're not going to be able to get on his chest. Or like if he's walking to you, he don't have to get close to you. He can punch from afar. Even in fucking the long, gangly uppercuts, which have a high ceiling because he's tall, to where he can punch through your head. Man, dude, that's dangerous. He's not like a little fucking tiny 5'7" micro machine fucking Brian Castaño. Nah, this dude's fucking huge.
The problem with him, though, he doesn't utilize his height. he doesn't make it work as much for him as he could. You know what I mean? Because he wants to do everything right up against your chest, which negates a lot of your height when you do that. But that's what makes him tough.
Jimmy, but not with the uppercut. I made a video about it. When you're tall, your punch can reach a higher ceiling to where you start down, and the opponent said might be sitting at the sweet spot. So by the time you gain the leverage, when your arm is barely catching up to your body, you're punching up and through the fucking target to where Charlo might be just sitting there for a fucking uppercut. Right?
Well, Jimmy, how about that? Because Fundora is an inside fighter, and Charlo, although he has power to hurt Fundora, like you said, he doesn't really. He excels at the mid range or at long range. Well, what do you think? How would that play in that inside fighter?
It would just could he handle Charlo's power? He got rocked by Lubin, but he didn't seem like it was more of a flash knockdown. You know what I mean? He didn't seem really hurt, but he was hurt enough. And Charlo hits harder than Lubin. So he would have to be a little more curious. I mean, I'm cautious in his style, but I haven't seen that out of him. Almost in the same kind of way of his Benavidez style of fighting. He just comes in and he's going to dog you. Let's go. We're going to just throw punches at each other's head, and the last person standing wins.
Interesting. That's okay. Well, we'll see if that happens, man. I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to a lot of this. And by the way, check out Gonzalo mentioned his channel, Lobito's Den Boxing. He's starting to do live streams now, so go check him out. It's pretty entertaining. Gonzalo has a lot of energy and he breaks things down. And if you need a couple of tips for the prediction league, I suggest you listen to Gonzalo because he breaks it down with a lot of detail. So go check that out. The other thing I wanted to bring up is Charlo. Okay, so I asked about his future potential Crawford fight, Fundora. If he moves up to 160, though, what's up there for him? Because his brother ain't doing shit over there. You know, they have to negotiate with other networks, and the PBC is not too keen on doing that. So, what does the future for Charlo look like at 160?
Well, I believe his brother's probably going to go to 168 because there's not a chance in hell Canelo's going back down to 160. And if he wants that Canelo cheese, he's going to have to go to 168. I mean, he's going to have to do something. I mean, he's got fucking the longest stay busy fight record in history. I mean, every fight this guy has is a stay busy fight. So let's see if outside of Durango. So let's see if he actually. I mean, he's going to eventually have to do something. It's getting ridiculous, and his own identical twin brother is just completely different in who he's fighting. It's crazy.
I don't think Jermell would have mentioned the possibility of moving up to 160, not having talked with his brother before. You know what I mean? Because then he would just make his brother look. I'm gonna move to 160 and unify, something that you haven't even fucking tried to do. You know, I'm pretty sure they talked, and Jermell knows that his brother is gonna eventually move up, or he's gonna be moving up to 168 soon. So that would make more sense.
I wonder if he's jealous of him because usually I'm a twin, dude, and me and my brother get into it all the time when we used to live together. But now, I mean, little Charlo got all the money, so you got to be not only like feeling jealous, but at the same time, dude, this guy got the money, so I don't want to be an asshole to him. No, I bet he's proud of him, but that kind of wears out. So at the end of the day, you kind of get a little jealous, and that might push Big Charlo to try to do great things. Let's see what happens with that.
Exactly. That's what I thought yesterday. That's what I thought, man. I mean, I think Jermall now has to step it up. I mean, his brother's an undisputed champion.
I think they call that's like a twin rivalry, Bucho. Twin rivalries?
Yeah.
Well, if the boxing voice, just recently, I don't know the guy's name, but he's involved somehow in boxing, but he's on the boxing voice. And Ness asked him, he said, so you're saying, because he's good friends with Charlo, you're saying that Canelo never ducked Canelo? And he's like, no. He says, in fact, I know for a fact that Charlo turned down a contract. He said his brother, and that come from his own brother's mouth, that he turned it down because when they fight, they're like Cain and Abel, to your reference. That's what he said. When those two fight, they're like Cain and Abel.
Interesting. Hey, Gonzalo, who's the Jermell and Jermall in your relationship with your brother?
I think that I would be the Jermell. I don't know who's older with Jermell and Jermall because no, this is the reason why, BD. This is the reason because I'm 5'9" and a quarter, technically speaking, because I was in the military and they used to measure me all the time. They got me listed at 5'9", and my brother's 5'10" and a half. Jose is taller, and he's about like 15 pounds heavier than me. So he's bigger. I'm the smaller guy. But then again, I don't know if Jermell's the older or the younger, because since I'm the smaller guy like Jermell, I'm also the older, where I was born 20 minutes before my brother. So that's the dynamic.
No.
I don't know.
The 154 is the younger by, I believe, a minute and a half.
He's the young, but and there's another thing. You got identical, and you got twins that are not identical, that are born in separate bags inside the womb. I'm not identical.
You're fraternal twin.
You know what, Gonzalo, your brother tried to steal your nutrients in the womb. So that rivalry has been going on since before you were born.
You know, BDA, that's crazy, because I used to tell my dad, that motherfucker tried to kick my ass and try to fucking kill me.
Whoa.
Yeah, in the womb.
Jeez, Luis. We got to talk about that second Renaissance. We got to talk about the second Renaissance week this week. Check it out.
I want to just talk about something. I mean, and it's a fact that Jermall Charlo has had the most successful career. My question is, how much did the PBC have to do with this? Or the fighters that were available in each division? Because Charlo was at Jermall is at 160, but it's maybe more difficult to make certain fights than at 154.
Yeah, you know what? That's a given, Bucho, because 154 they got the names there, they control them. Whereas 160, they can't. If they would have to, and that's the other thing, though. It's a shame that this fight was the first one was exciting. You figured out that the second one was going to be exciting, and the crowd, though, it looked pretty sparse. I mean, they had some celebrity boxers there, some known boxers, but for the most part, the place was kind of empty, man. And I understand now why Charlo was trying to play up the nationalistic angle, because they gotta sell this fight somehow, and it's a little bit of a disappointment that if this type of fight can't sell, then what can sell?
Well, go ahead, Bucho. Sorry.
Just quickly, man, I just want to mention that what Jermell is doing is actually pretty smart. He's playing the American side, that type of like Apollo Creed thing, he's like America, pro-American, all that shit. And this is something that Deontay Wilder should have done instead of going all Pan-African, pro-black. That started to like push some people away. And Jermell, again, he's playing that American card, whatever you want to call it. And actually, to me, that's smarter than what Wilder did.
Exactly. What you're saying is where Charlo went nationalistic, which people aren't going to really complain. If I've got Wilder was going ethno-nationalistic. Yeah. He was pushing black instead of pushing American, which you're 100% right. Absolutely pushed people off his bandwagon.
And I think Charlo learned. I think Charlo learned from that, because he was talking about that in an interview. Remember that, where he said, the LBBC, or what are they called? The LBB, whatever. And he was talking about how they didn't like him because he sort of, he was cold to them. I think a lot of these guys now are learning the fact that they've taken away some of the press passes from some of these organizations, because they know that they're racial extremists. If you're going to play up the nationalistic angle, like Bucho said, that's much better, because now you're getting the whole nation, as opposed to one specific race, which is just going to alienate everybody else.
Yeah, but it's still like, if it don't cater to like the people where you still think you're a salty, abrasive piece of shit, they're just gonna like you just in general. In the masses, they fuck this guy. It's like they bring the whole crib mentality. Like, so for some reason they don't got the natural passion that maybe the Mexicans do, like the true passion. There courses through their veins, and you feel happy about. Be happy that you won. Share that happiness with the people. Don't be so fucking salty that you're gonna say, hey, motherfucker, kick rocks. I don't want to fucking know about you, whether you're good or not.
Well, that's a good point, Gonzalo, because... go ahead, Jimmy. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, last night, I was actually surprised. He was calm after the win, and Jim Gray even asked, why are you so calm? And I liked the things he said last night. I really did. He gave thanks to his parents, for raising him right. I mean, I'm a family man. I got my children here. Life has been good. I owe you thanks. I thought he was humble in victory. I really did. I respected how he handled himself after. What he says going forward, who knows? But you are definitely right, BDA. He is off the fucking LDBC plantation. That's for damn sure.
And that's what's going to make a lot of them... That's what's going to make a lot of them... Then
he did a video, Jimmy, that he said, fucking, I beat that bitch's ass. I knocked out that bitch ass, like, later. It's like they're so back and forth. Yeah,
Oh, you said that after the fight? Yeah, see, man.
Well, that's the thing
come
about
on.
that's the thing about Charlo. He said the right things. He's doing some right things, but he's still way too emotional. Like before the fight, he goes, "America, America, America." You know, I'm a this and that and the blah blah blah. He's saying Castaño's scared and all that, and then he goes, "We in America, we here, we humble." And I go, well, hold on a second. Now you're making America look bad because you're talking all that trash, and then you're saying we're humble. It's a big contradiction. And then after the fight, he was still pretty emotional. I guess because here's the other thing that we're talking about. When fighters say, or their fans say, "Oh, you know, these guys don't care about you. You've never boxed before, blah blah blah." Believe me, they care, because I don't know if you guys saw what happened after the fight in the post-fight press conference. Mike Coppinger was there. And I think, I didn't even know about this, but I think Mike Coppinger had been critical of Charlo's career. So when he asked a question, Charlo got overly emotional. And he started saying, "Oh yeah, now you gotta come see me, huh? Now you gotta," and he kept interrupting him and going on. So when people tell you that fighters don't listen to little YouTube channels, oh, believe me, or any writer, they listen. And here's the thing: I'm not saying this as if to say, "Hey, let's fuck with the fighters." No. What I'm saying is, from a productive standpoint, if these guys listen and they hear the fans saying, "We want this fight, we want this fight," and then you got a guy like Canelo who's making those fights, or you got a guy like Usyk and Lomachenko and Devin Haney to a certain extent, who say, "Okay, I'll take the deal. I won't haggle over money." Or Bivol, sorry, I forgot Bivol too. They don't haggle over money. They don't create drama. They don't stall fights. They go, "Yeah, how much am I getting? The short end? Okay, I don't care. I'll beat you." That's how confident I am. That's what wins fans. And that's what these guys have to realize. So if we keep pressuring for the best fights to happen, okay, maybe they won't happen all the time. Maybe they won't happen tomorrow. But it's better than just sitting back and defending these fighters, because, well, they're the ones that are fighting, so we got to respect them. We can criticize them. Nah, man, these guys here listen to the criticism, and that's the way we get the big fights.
Yeah, and you know what they hear even more, Mr. BDA? Money. And you don't think that one of the driving forces behind Spence pushing for the Crawford fight right now is his plummeting pay-per-view numbers, his spiraling pay-per-view numbers? I mean, that's bad. When you fight a super featherweight, and that's your biggest fight, and then when you have a unified fight against Ugas, and it does the worst numbers ever, the fans are speaking loud and clear. You're not fighting who they want. Nobody was asking for that Ugas fight. No one. And the numbers reflected that.
Yeah, it's a shame, though, because it was a good fight still. So it's a shame that boxing can't get that type of traction, because on paper it was an okay, it wasn't Pacquiao Spence, but, go ahead, Gonzalo, yeah.
Yeah, BD. No, just gonna say, man, because the older Charlo, he's gone out of his way to protect that old, and even the younger one, when they salvaged that, he got the draw the first time against Castaño, and I thought personally I was one of the few that he beat Harrison the first time, but it's kind of like they got talent, but it's been about that to where, I mean, I'm being serious. I'm not trying to be funny. If the fucking Twin Towers fell the first time, I don't think that the fucking Twin Charlos are that invincible. Yeah, man, and that might make them popular because they want to see these fuckers crumble, and they kind of rubbing me the wrong way where I don't like those motherfuckers, and I thought I wanted Castaño to win, not because I just like Charlo because he's a fucking asshole.
Well, Gonzalo made that good. You made that good point on your stream. You go, look, I don't like those guys. Why are people so quick to? There is valid criticism, like you said, Gonzalo. I mean, these guys are loud. They're vociferous, and they're too overly emotional. And you, as a man, you don't like that. Why is that a problem for a lot of people, though? Like that's an interesting question right there.
You have to like. That's the thing. You have to like whoever they want you to like. Like who? Like why? Why would you have to like a boxer? I mean, one thing is to talk about the boxer's record and his status in the sport. Another is like to like a boxer's attitude. I can't dislike whoever the fuck I want. I don't know what these people are talking about.
Well, Bucho, the thing is, Bucho, if the person's living vicariously through a fighter and you shit on that fighter, you're shitting on them.
Hey, but I wanted to go back to the thing about fighters listening to, because again, they like to use that whole excuse, or not excuse, but the reasoning behind their argument sometimes is, well, you've never boxed before. They try to pull that card right away. But they do care, and to a guy that you looked up to when you were watching boxing at the time, Marvin Hagler. He had Merchant didn't really like him, right? And he was always trying to live up to Merchant's bar. And then finally, after the Hearns fight, he went up to him and said, "Do I get your respect now?" And Merchant said, "Yeah." And Hagler said that it was like a victory for him. do fighters like when if a Marvin Hagler cares what an old man who's never boxed before thinks, that means that they do care to a certain extent what the fans think, or not just fans but writers and
human nature. Well, would you care? Would anybody care? If anybody in this panel, anybody listening to this show care? Of course, they're no different. They just do something for a living that other people watch. But at the end of the day, we're all human. And what's the thing that, the thread that binds us is all very similar. And most people do care what people think of them, and if they don't, that could be a problem too. You should care a little bit, but at the same token, the thing is in sports, you never get too high. You never let the losses get you too low. You never let your wins get you too high.
Exactly. Jimmy, you hit the nail on the head because, real quick, Gonzalo, because people were, like I said, this whole O thing. Oh, shit, hold on a second. This whole O thing that really Mayweather popularized to a certain extent, where all these fighters afterwards, 5-7 years after him, they were all trying to keep that O. Now it's about undisputed. Everyone wants to get all those 4 belts. And now, listen, I hate the belts. I hate the sanctioned organizations. But to a certain extent, this is a good thing. That all these fighters now are following Canelo's lead and saying, you know what, I really don't care about the O, because a lot of people were saying, well, Canelo's never going to be an all-time great, or he's never going to live up to Mayweather because he's got a loss. Well, guess who else has a loss? Jermall Charlo. Actually, he should have 2 losses because I thought he lost the first Castaño fight. And guess what? Like Jimmy said, it doesn't matter what happened in the past. What matters is what you're doing now and what you're going to keep on doing. Don't let a loss define you. And that's what Jermall Charlo did. That's what Canelo did. This whole thing about preserving the O, and guess who loses when all these fighters try to preserve the O? The fans. That's what, like I keep saying.
Example, Jermall. Yeah. Jermall's undefeated, guys. He has that O, that magical golden shiny fucking O. Who cares? His brother is not undefeated, and he's doing better than him.
Now you gotta play catch. No, there's a certain realness to them. It's not like all of a sudden they're the charlatans. Yeah, they're like freaking charlatans. No, I respect the eye of the tiger. They're fucking they got that essence. Like, I'm a savage. Come fuck with me. I'm that good. Take what I got. No, I kind of do respect that. I don't have to like it entirely because they lose the plot when they get a little too disrespectful. But that's just my opinion, man. They're crossing the line.
And my thing too with that is this: anytime I hear all right, for example, I've heard people say on Twitter, Canelo could never be rated higher than Mayweather, no matter what he does. Say if he went up and unified the light heavyweight, doesn't matter. He lost to Mayweather. Okay, under that mindset, the 18 guys who beat Sugar Ray Robinson, should they be rated higher than him?
Oh, that's an excellent point.
This is where I throw the mic to the ground.
Joe, it's expensive mics, man. You got to be careful. Now, listen, I want to give a shout out to Paper Tiger for his contribution with the super chat. He says, just don't question his performance or he'll get mad. Yeah, that's the thing, though. That's something that we've talked about. Shout out to Paper Tiger, by the way, for his contribution. It makes me think about that. We know sometimes when you talk to other people here on YouTube, and you can tell real quick who's a real boxing fan and who's not. When you start saying, well, this fighter, I think he has to do a little bit more, blah, 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 and they go, oh, you hating. So, come on. So pointing out the negative aspects of a guy's career, along with the good, but just pointing out the negative aspects, that's hating. So, okay, so your fight is perfect then. There's no room for it's like when a guy wins and then you break down what he did right and then you break down what he did wrong as well. Oh, no, you hating. Come on, guys. You got to step up. This type of discussion, it's got to be high-level discussion, all right? We don't want the little garbage discussions about who's avoiding who and he said, she said. That shit out of here. By the way, the phone lines are open, fellas. Go ahead,
hating is it's a nebulous term that can't be quantified. So it's useless in an actual discussion. Oh, you're a hater. What the hell does that even mean? It's a word to just encompass the fact that you don't like what somebody's saying, but you don't have the facts on your side to counter.
Hey, speaking of not giving a shit about hate, one guy that doesn't care, like I mentioned before, being hated is Mike Compinger, the aforementioned Mike Compinger, because I get the feeling he's like Ellie Sackback. He's one of those guys that doesn't matter. He believes all publicity is good publicity. It doesn't matter what happens. Like him and Ellie Sackback could appear in a video where their wives are getting fucked and they're standing in the room smiling, and they won't care. If you bring it up to them, they'll go, yeah, but at least you know who I am. You know who I am. I was like, what? That's the most important thing.
7,000 people were watching online. Will it happen? Listen, Carpentering is that dude who hid behind the teacher after throwing a rock at you or something at recess. You know what I mean? Smirking at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I get the feeling they're the classic guys. All they want is their name out there. Doesn't matter. They could have been the guy that shot 8 people yesterday in Buffalo, and they won't care as long as they know who they are. Hey, you know who I am. I'm getting all that publicity. Nobody knows who you are, man. Some of these people, they're publicity freaks. Publicity hounds. Yeah.
But was it warranted? Did he say something that obviously Charlo had a problem with? I wonder what he said, because he was fucking gunning for him, pointing, "Hey, motherfucker, you said this about me, ESPN, fuck you." What did he say? Because I don't know what the problem was.
I don't know either.
After the fight, he actually made a point in the ring while he was being interviewed by Jim Gray to go up and say, "Listen, you understand through an interpreter, all that stuff said before the fight means nothing now. That was, the emotions before a fight. We handled it. We fought like warriors. You won." So basically apologized, saying you understand what it was. And he gave him his props that the better man won that night. A humble man would have walked away from that and said, well, I'm not going to badmouth him because now it makes me look petty. The man already apologized, said it meant nothing, and gave me my props for winning. So anything on top of that is piling on, and then that's just now whatever props I gave him for the things he said after the fight, the fact that Gonzalo told me what he said, well, fuck him, I knocked that bitch ass out. There's a reason even though I picked him, I wanted him to lose.
Yeah, and again, like you said, the people that root for him based on his character, they're the types of people I don't want to associate with, because they're the same type of people. They're very emotional, raised probably in a single mother household, or spend more time with the mother than with the father. Because, I mean, you can tell they're very emotional fellas. And look, Jermell,
traits.
Yeah, heck of a... And by the way, Castaño didn't start the whole trash talking. That was Charlo. So, again, for Charlo to start it and then finish it, it's kind of a little suspect. By the way, we got phone lines open here, so let's get right down to it here. Don't forget the phone
number. And he was very angry that he lost the first fight. He felt he won that first fight decisively, Charlo, and he's high. He didn't.
By the way, we got the phone lines are open. The number is in the middle left-hand portion of your screen, so let's get right down to it. Remember to stick close to your microphone, fellas. Stick close to the mic. Speak loudly so we can hear you. Hold on a second. 678, you're on the air. 678, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, y'all? Yeah, King Bucho's right, man. All these fucking trolls in the chat. You need to block the flag for this episode.
You know what? You know our policy here, Suse. We try not to ban people until it really gets hairy. Like the only time we'll ban people.
I know.
Yeah, but what's on your mind, man? What's up?
Anyway,
Suse, what's up, buddy?
I listened to Lobito's. Hey, what's up, y'all? I listened to Lobito's Dan over at Blood Boxing, by the way, which was awesome. Not only did Gonzalo predict how it was going to happen, or the round and how it happened, but he gave a really cool analysis, and he said basically like Charlo needed to be more aggressive and come out there, man, because if it was not going to be an aggressive Charlo, it was going to be the same outcome, or Castano was going to come out on top. So I think that's fucking awesome that he nailed it like that.
There you go, Gonzalo. We should start calling him Gostradamus. Gonstradamus, because I mean he comes up. What else, man? What's up?
Yeah, man, and I have an issue with that thumbnail you used today. The king, come on, man, and you put the presidents behind him like that. That's bullshit.
Well, wait a minute, Bucho, that's your department, man. You address Bucho on that, Soothsayer, because that's not me, man.
Oh, I apologize. Well, yeah, man, that's just my opinion on it. I think that's. Come on, bro.
Yeah, it's just to rival people, get some emotions going.
Well, yeah, you got it.
You got the thumbnail has to attract people because that's the first thing they see. It's the visual and then the title. But it's really the thumbnail that has to get people.
I'm gonna leave with this, man. Fundora would light him up. Does anybody disagree with that?
I would think it's a 50-50 fight, man, at this point. Well, actually, I would give the Charlo the edge, actually. But it would still be a close one, man.
So,
yeah.
Before I go, do you guys look at Charlo as daring to be great by Castano?
Yeah, Charlo, I mean, look, the proof's in the pudding. The guy's beaten everyone in the 154-pound division.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you.
Come on.
But anyways, great show,
right,
guys.
I wouldn't call it dare to be great, Susea, because he stayed in his own division. It wasn't like he went up to cruiserweight. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
but hold on,
So-
Jimmy. Clearing a division is
I
just
know. I
as
wouldn't say
good as...
denigrate. I'd say clear division. He deserves all the props for unifying, but he still hasn't like gone up and done something like. What hurts the Canelo in that situation is too many people picked Canelo. That's what the odds and everything. Serves like how could it be good? It'd be great. He was favored. I just don't understand how he was favored, but that's neither here nor there.
Right, that's the thing. That's a good point, Jimmy.
All right, well, listen, Soothsayer, thanks for calling in. And remember, Soothsayer, I don't know if you saw the announcement.
Peace out, y'all.
Second Renaissance Week. Second Renaissance Week. So clear your schedule for that. All right, man. All right, take it easy, man.
Clear.
Thanks for calling
See you
in. All right. All right, let's go to 346. 346, what's on your mind?
Hey, what up, man? It's Logical Man, y'all. Shout out Second Renaissance. I'll be on it next week.
Fantastic.
But,
Good
check
to
this
hear,
out, man. Look, Jermell did his thing, and I want to say something to you, bias, this motherfucking Mexican motherfuckers. Y'all was going against him. We behind Castaño. We behind him. Why are you behind him, bro? Because he's a black fighter? Like, that's real shit. You guys should know I'm not about race all the time, but that shit pissed me off, man. I've never been such aggravated seeing this shit. It was crazy to me, man.
Well, where'd you see that?
Huh?
Where'd you see that?
Man, it was all on the comments of under Box Sports, like different channels, your channel, people making excuses like, oh, well, he was bigger, he's a bigger man. And what you mean? He came in a pound less. They were the same weight class. A lot of excuses.
Well, first of all, he's from Argentina. Mexicans don't like and I can speak as a Mexican. We have a rivalry with Argentina because they think they're Europeans more than Latin Americans. And I read, I can talk about our comment section. I didn't see the only one that I guess you could say is Ignacio Juarez, but that's a troll right there. That's if you've seen the channel.
Man, I don't know, man. It was a lot of that bullshit. It was irritating, man. But all I know is that Jermell did his thing, man. He was. See, when people don't see that, it's that body shot, man. That body shot really affected Castano, man. Like his legs just went limp. I don't know if Jermell could tell, but that body shot, man, them body shots was really putting in work on Castano. His body is really weak. And if Jermell fights Fundora, I think it is a 50-50 fight, man, because Fundora, I mean, he can take a shot. He comes in very well. He got a good inside game. You can tell Jermell every time you come inside, like he gets on the ropes. And that shit, that little grabbing shit or whatever, or getting out the way, it's not going to work with Fundora, man. He's too damn long. You know what I'm saying? He'll get that uppercut every time I try to come in and try to grab him.
Hey, what about Crawford versus Jermell Charlo?
Why do I keep bringing this up? Man, I don't know, man. It's hard for me to say because Crawford ain't really done shit. I mean, who actually really fought? I can't really be like, oh, he beat Jermell because we don't really know too much. But don't you know, Crawford is good. I say it is 60-40. But I got to go with Jermell on that one, man. But based off footwork and how that was in the last fight with Castano, man, it is kind of hard. It is kind of hard, no lie.
There you go. All right. Well, that's Logical Man's prediction right there. By the way, clear your schedule because it's Second Renaissance Week, and we're gonna.
Oh yeah, I'll be there, man, for sure.
All right, we're gonna be broadcasting.
Oh, hey, let me say one more thing too. Anybody know any news on Virgil Ortiz, bro? What's going on with Virgil, bro? I haven't heard anything from him. Is he all right?
I mean, the rumor is he's getting fat. That's the rumor. Hopefully, that's not true.
Oh shit!
Didn't he have some injury recently or something happened?
Yeah, but you said that it was because the rumor was that he was getting fat, or was that Steve Kim that said that? Fuck, I forget.
Yeah, I believe it was Steve.
Somebody said something like that.
Yeah, he's in my.
But hey, appreciate letting me call in, man. Y'all have a good one, and fuck you, racist. Bye, fuck, bye.
All right, see you, Logical Man. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? Good reason you could go to that. Surprisingly, I didn't see him at the Canelo fight. I didn't see him at last night's fight either. Usually, champions will end up going to at least one of these fights, especially in the southwestern area of the United States. It's right in his backyard. And one of the reasons why they wouldn't is because if they're too chubby, they don't want people to see that.
That's a good point.
Again,
the
that's
only one that doesn't care.
The
only one that doesn't care is Spence. He'll show up drunk with his bodyguard restraining him and stuff like that. And he's like, "Hey, what are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do?" I suppose that's good. He walks to the beat of his own drum. All right, let's go to, or maybe he waddles to the beat of his own drum because when you're drunk, you can't really walk. All right, let's go to. Don't forget, fellas, the phone lines are open. Phone numbers in the middle left-hand portion of your screen. All right, let's go to 631. You're on the air. 631. What's on your mind?
Hello?
Yes, 631. You're on the air. What's up?
Hi. Hi, BDA and everyone. I was just calling because I was just going to talk about, like, concepts of, like, rematches and stuff like that. Like, how, like generally when you see two guys fight, you want to see them get better, like the both of them. And like, to me, I just didn't see the same, like, fire in Castaño. And it's like, if you pay for these fights, you know, you just want, like, them both to be, like, at least as good as they were in the first fight, you know, and it's just something to think about. And I just,
did you have a problem? Because we had Joe in the Discord. He kept complaining about the announcers and the broadcasters wearing sunglasses when there was no sun. It was already sundown, and these guys are. What do you think? Did that bother you, or?
Yeah. Why are you wearing sunglasses like that? Take them off, man.
They think they're in the Matrix or something.
Maybe they know.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's all. Just all my thoughts about that. Thanks for taking my call.
Well, no problem. Call back next time, Raman, if you have any other thoughts. All right. Take it easy, 631. Thank you for calling in. Let's go to 301. Hold on a second. It's loading up. 301. You're on the air. 301. What's on your mind?
Hey, BDA, Bucho, Jimmy, Gonzalo. How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
Hold on, brother.
Nice day where I'm at.
What's that?
Yeah, what's up, Jimmy?
Yeah, well, go ahead, man. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so I like everything you guys said. Great show so far. I just want to give my thoughts on the fight. I noticed, like, early on, Charlo was being a little more active with his jab, and that kind of set up, he was trying to go to the body with his left hand, but Castano was blocking that. But he was able to sink that right hand to the body in, and I think that's what got him to start lowering his output around the 6th round, as you said, BDA, and what ultimately went to stoppage. But what I also noticed is a good adjustment he made is when he got to the ropes, instead of shelling up, and when Castano tee off on him, he was moving around a lot and really kind of rope-a-doping, taking the steam out of the shots and just being a hard target. And he started to land the uppercut, and I don't know if it was like a premeditated adjustment or just an instinctual one, but he just started like ramming the uppercut to Castano's body, to his neck, to his chest. And I think that's what ultimately set up the left hook that he kept landing repeatedly. And I agree with you, BDA. I think he was getting worn down, and that's why the left hook hurt him so bad, because I think that left hook landed like right on the top of the side of the head. That's like with the soft part of the skull where you can hit your brain, If you sink your knuckles, right into that part, it really drains you.
Yeah, it took away his legs, man. That was insane, the way he just flopped like that. Well, what do you want to see Charlo next? What do you want to see for Charlo next, brother? Crawford, Fundora, a move to 160?
I think Fundora makes the most sense to me, because he's like Castano. He can get hurt, but he can also put the beating on you if you start letting him tee off on you. It's like Margarito, It's like once that engine starts going, there's no stopping it. So I think that would be a terrific fight. But we saw in the Lubin fight that he can get hurt too. So Charlo could knock him out. So I think that would be an entertaining fight. There's very little chance that it goes the distance. I think that's kind of the best fight. It's the easiest fight to make, and it gives him kind of like a stay busy fight, or a fight to bridge other fights. To wait for Crawford, Spence winner, or if Ennis moves up or whatever.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully we get the big fight. We continue to get the big fight. So far, 2022 has been delivering just like 2021, and hopefully it's going to be better than 2021. Well, listen, 301, we got to move on.
Yeah, that's true. We have been getting some decent fights, yeah. Hopefully it keeps going. All right.
Absolutely. Keep your fingers
crossed.
Have
a good show.
You too, man. Bye-bye. Thank you for calling in. Call back next time as always. All right. Take it easy, man. All right, let's go. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out. And stay tuned for, sorry about this. No boxing this week, because next Saturday, not that much boxing. So stay tuned for second Renaissance week. Second Renaissance Week. We're going to be trying to broadcast every day over at Second Renaissance on YouTube and Odyssey, so check those out. All right, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 754. 754, you're on the air. 754, what's on your mind?
What's happening, man? What's going on, brother? This Coach Malachi Williams, new media today, USA Boxing. What's up, brother?
Oh, Coach Malachi, what's up, man?
Hey, man, great fight last night, man. We got a thriller, man. It's been a good year for us. I have no complaints. My main man, Jermall Charlo, I picked him to win split decision. I was worried about, just him fighting with so much emotion and anger that he would make the same mistakes he made in the first fight. I was shocked, surprised that he kept his composure. He threw his punches with fluidity. He didn't fight tight. He didn't fight tense. He had a perfect game plan for Castano. Castano fought like a warrior. He did good within the first 6 rounds. After that, the body shots, he started to fade. Charlo started timing him, catching him with the check left hook. Anytime they got caught up in the exchanges on the ropes, Charlo always finished off with the check left hook, and it was the check left hook that eventually dropped him in the first round, and his body went limp. And Jermall Charlo, man, he did his thing, man. I know a lot of people don't like Jermall Charlo. He's one of my favorite fighters. What I love about him is the fact that the boy would fight. Now, I have my criticism of his brother, of course. I'm always on his neck. But that man right now, man, I'm going to put some respect on his name, man. Fact of the matter is, 7 people have become undisputed in the 4-belt era, and he's on that list. He's one of the 7. Bernard Hopkins, Jermaine Taylor, Terrence Crawford, Alexander Usyk, Josh Taylor, Canelo Alvarez, and now Jermall Charlo. Whether you like it or not, it is what it is. He's on that list. And much love to that brother, man. I'm so proud of him, man. I really am, man. And he stopped me. He stopped this dude last night. He stopped him. Castano became too predictable, was getting time, getting caught, wasn't working behind the jab. The high guard is the high guard. He was coming in there with the high guard, but he wasn't working behind the jab as the fight went later on, and he became predictable. And just getting caught, man. And eventually that power carried from Jermall Charlo. And we got undisputed, man. We got another undisputed champion. And it is what it is, man. Whether you like him or not, he's undisputed. There's nothing YouTube channel, mainstream media reporters, or critics. There's nothing that no one can say that's going to take away from the fact that he's undisputed. He's on that list with the rest of those guys in the 4-belt era. And that's all I pretty much have to say, my brother.
All right, well, hey, listen,
Coach, I agree with you, too, on the check hook. You could tell that was the punch he was looking for all night. In the first round, you could tell because when he did throw it, even if he didn't connect, you could tell he was putting a lot of mustard on it. They were practicing. Yeah. Because, like you said, he wasn't coming in behind a jab. And you can't do that with somebody who's that athletic. You know what I mean? Charlo, it's one thing he has, like I say all the time, he would have, I don't care if he played basketball, football, baseball, he's just that type of athlete. He'd dominate at it. And nobody can take that away. Props to him. Like I said in the beginning of the show, he's one of the few now who can hold his head up and say he did that.
Yeah, and another thing is, I will say this. I will say this, my brother. I was surprised at how calm and poised Jermall Charlo fought in the pocket last night. Normally he's angry. He, I always say he has that Clubber Lang mentality. I want to knock him out. I'm gonna get him. Fighting all mean. He was so calm. I was shocked to see that. That's one. And another thing I was shocked at, Brian Castaño didn't make any adjustments. He didn't make any adjustments. It's like, dude, you trying to fight the same way, and you became predictable, and that's how he started timing. And I'm like, damn, but I can't really say maybe he didn't make adjustments. Maybe he did make adjustments, but when you're the shorter fighter, you have the shorter arm reach, and a guy is sticking you with his jab, and you have to really just come on the inside in order to get your punches off. Maybe that was the only way that he could have won that fight. That was the only way he could have won it. No. Yeah. Brian Castaño, hats off to him. He went out like a warrior. Now. He came in there. He brought the heat. He did. But just the second half of the fight, after the 6th round, he just started getting caught with some clean shots. And it is what it is. It's history.
Gonzalo, go ahead, man. You want to say something?
Yeah, Coach. Hey, he kind of fought like that the first time, but he kind of continued with the same pattern, being calm and poised. for a guy that's so explosive out of the ring, man, that temperament, he kind of holds it together, and I'm proud of that the guy can do that. And for the difference between a back foot fighter that's always running away, I learned something. Because if you were to employ, like, where I'm not challenging you, where I'm backing up, like Castano did against, where Charlo did against Castano, that's the way to do it. Get away from the pressure puncher, and when he fucking comes to you, then you're gonna beat his, brains out. And that was a good game plan. He did well. There's a difference between a backward fighter and the way he did. I'm really proud of him too, man.
Yes, sir. I was watching a fight. One of my favorite fighters from Argentina, Carlos Monzon. Yeah, I forgot the fight it was, man. Damn, my memory. Carlos Monzon was fighting a person who was pressuring him, just kind of like how Castano did Jermall Charlo. And Jermell Charlo kind of reminded me of that performance, to where Carlos Monzon was every time the guy put out to get him on the ropes, he pivoted off the ropes. He kept the jab in his face, catching him with the counter check left hooks. He was setting traps for the pressure fighter. I forgot the fighter name. I'm gonna have to look it up. But it was an old fight that me and my uncle used to look at, and my uncle showed me. And it just reminded me of that. Like, that's how you fight a pressure fight.
Was it Benny Briscoe? Did he ever fight Benny Briscoe?
What it was?
No, I was asking, was it Benny Briscoe? Did he ever fight Benny Briscoe, or?
Yeah.
I think it was Napolis.
No, Napolis was slick.
I think it was him. I'm not sure, but I think it was him. He was pressuring the hell out of Carlos Monzon, and Monzon he fought beautifully. And when I saw that from Jermall Charlo, I was like, damn, this guy looks like a different fighter. That fighter that I saw last night, Jermall Charlo, the way he boxed, the way he kept his composure, the way he set traps, the way he listened to his corner, the way he worked the jab, he looked like the faster fighter from a hand speed standpoint. And even when he got caught clean by Castano, because Castano was catching him clean with some good shots, he didn't get rattled. He kept his composure, and he always finished off the combination with a check left hook.
That's
and then
right.
He started finding his home.
They always say, in Mexico, they teach finish with the left hook, and some people have forgotten to do that, man. But last night was.
And I think he took his conditioning real high too, guys, because I think he looked even better shape. I think he realized he had to be in better shape to implement his game plan. But yeah.
Well, listen, Coach, man, always good to hear from. Anything else you want to say before we move on?
Oh, yeah, no, sir. That's it. I just want to say, man, BDA, keep up the good work, man. Brian Castaño, keep your head up. Keep your head up, man. Brian Castaño, you did good. You got knocked out last night, but don't worry about it. When you're fighting, when the best is fighting the best, somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. Castaño can bounce back. He can come back from this. He'll learn from this. But the better man won last night, man. Jermall Charlo is that guy in the 154-pound division. No matter what, he's that guy, and he stopped it. So
and don't forget,
that's all I have to say.
Check out New Media Today USA Boxing. Are you going to go live later today, Coach, or?
Yes, sir. I'm going live today, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much, BDA, for having me, sir.
Thank you for calling in, Coach. Catch you in the next one, man.
Coach, take care.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, take it easy, man. All right, that was Coach Malachi from New Media to USA Boxing. New Media Today USA Boxing. Check him out. Go subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. He will be going live today at 3 p.m. covering all the events from
good
last
stuff
night.
Too.
Good, absolutely.
Always brings the energy. Coach always brings the energy.
Hey, BDA, you're right. Napolis was like a back foot fighter, huh? He was a pressure fighter.
That's why they call him Mantequilla, because he was actually, he was slick.
That's right. It's slippery like butter. No.
Yeah, I didn't like his cousin Margarina. That guy wasn't as good. It was like a
Can I say
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, guys, I didn't know if I said it earlier, but I want to give there's one thing Charlo did last night. I want to give props to. This time he seemed to be more willing, though, when he did take a couple of shots. Remember, I think it was like the third or fourth round. It was one round. It was an excellent round. Like the crowd was standing ovation. He took a couple of big shots, bloodied up his mouth. But he didn't try to bail out of the pocket. He stood in there, ducked under a couple of shots, and then landed with his own left hook and stepped out. Instead of taking that first big shot, like in the first fight, if you go back, anytime he took a big shot, his first instinct was to get the fuck out of there. Last night, he took a big shot, and instead he swung under and come back with his own shit. So it seemed like he was more confident in his ability to take his punches.
It just goes to show you, if you're going to fight off the back foot, you got to let your hands go in combination too. And that's what Charlo was doing, because I think he learned from that loss to Tony Harrison, where he wasn't letting his hands go. So sometimes a loss can help you out. But just keeping that and being having a fragile ego and never wanted to let it go. Like, look, I understand. No one likes to lose. But sometimes you learn more from losing. I know it's a cliche, but it's the truth. And guys like Canelo and Charlo prove that. Let's go to
Mr. BDA. There's no wing in the Castano for the. Oh, and here we have a new wing called the O. You know what I mean? That's not a criteria of getting in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? Floyd made that, used that, created that propaganda of the O because he never unified a division. He didn't go up in weight like a lot of guys maybe. So he needed an angle to make it like he was a first at something. But it wasn't the case.
By the way,
many boxers who went 50-0.
Little trivia, they do have an O-wing in the Hall of Fame of another industry that I used to work in. But yeah, Gonzalo, go ahead, man. We're going to take some photos.
No, yeah. Look, before I sound like a hypocrite, because I don't mean to be like wishy-washy. No, I respect his talent. I'm proud of him as an American, and I'm actually like respecting the fact that he's so volatile outside of the ring that he's demonstrating something inside where he's keeping it composed. And then when he needs to explode, when he needs to be that ticking time bomb, he's staying true to the character of a counterpuncher. That's great. I like it, man. I like it. But if I were really wanting like to say, oh man, I'm gonna like be like a hardcore fan of this guy. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna put him in a pound-for-pound list. Show me a little bit more class with the personality. That's all I'm saying. Do I have the right to say that as a fan?
Yeah, maybe he's learning.
You do.
Maybe he's learning. You hope that he's learning. And hopefully this win doesn't go to his head. All right, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to, hold on a second, who else was next? 480, you're on the air. 480, what's on your mind?
Hey, it's a Rare Breed.
Oh, Rare Breed, what's up?
What's up, buddy?
What's up? So that was a great fight. I think that's definitely fight of the year so far, in my opinion. And I think Mel does deserve to be on the pound-for-pound list, maybe like in the 10 range, 10 to 8 to 9 range. Also, I know he hasn't really fought the opponents we want him to, but I really think Jerron Ennis is the best fighter in the world. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but the talent just jumps off the screen. And that's about it.
Hey, wait a minute. Some people, again, I don't want to paint with a broad brush here, a broad stroke, but some people were saying that the fight looked fake. What did you think about that?
It kind of, remember when Ryan Garcia knocked out Duno with that, like, grazing shot to the head? Well, this one wasn't grazing. He hit him in the back, like in the ear.
Temple.
What's it called? The temple, yeah. Yeah, he has power in both hands with speed. Like, that's a deadly combination.
Well, listen, we know you're a big Ennis fan. That's why you always have the thumbnail there when you on Discord. But here's the thing: Jimmy actually thinks Jermall Ennis could beat Jermall Charlo. What do you think about that?
I think so too.
Oh,
I think, yeah. I think he'll clean out 47, 54, and 60.
The day Jimmy and Rare Breed agreed.
How many people have ever done that in history?
Never thought I'd see the day when Jimmy and Rare Breed would agree on something like this. This is amazing. This is
Jimmy knows talent.
See, Jimmy knows talent. All right. Well, listen. Okay, realistically, what's Ennis' next move? Because we're tired of seeing him in there against Clayton.
I agree. Keith Thurman. Send Keith Thurman for early retirement.
Keith Thurman. Well,
let me ask you,
you got to pay Keith like, yeah.
Do you think
you're gonna have
Thurman would actually get in there with him though?
You will pay him to fight a Spence.
Okay, hold on, one at a time.
You'd have to pay him ridiculous money. I'm sorry, I got the delay, guys. I'll say this and I'll be done. I don't think Thurman would do it unless you paid him obscene money.
Hey, Rare Breed, let me ask you this, because I know you tend to like the guys that talk a lot outside the ring and all that. But what about Ennis? Don't you respect him a little bit more? The fact that he's a little bit more subdued outside the ring, doesn't do a trash talking. He goes right up to his opponents after stopping.
I mean, I like guys who back it up. Like, it's one thing to talk, but you need to back it up. You know, and so yeah, I prefer. That's true. I prefer guys with a little bit more personality, but. If you're, like, for example, Lomachenko doesn't really talk a lot, but his fighting does his talking, so I don't care either way as long as you're entertaining.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we got other phone calls here to get to, but anything else you want to say before we move on?
No, that was about it.
All right, Reverend, thank you for calling in. And what the fuck? I sent you an invite on Friday, no reply, man. What's going on?
Oh, I had to go to my sister's graduation, so.
That sounds like the way you hesitated makes me think you're not telling the truth, man. All right, listen, I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking you. All right, listen, Reverend, thank you for calling in. Catch you on the next one, all right, man?
And BDA, can I say real quick for on favor to Ennis, like I thought was a commendable thing he did. He actually brought attention to a little kid who needs bone marrow transplant. I love when an athlete does that, when they use their fame or they use their notoriety to bring attention to somebody who needs. So that tells me that he has class. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys caught that at the end of the fight, but I just wanted to give him his props for that.
It would be true unless the kid's an asshole. Then you're like, why are you trying to keep an asshole kid alive? That's my opinion.
Yeah, he's 7. So when he's 7 years old, so there's a good chance he could suck.
Yeah, he also wears pink, but this is kind of freaky because it's 3-dimensional. It's the furry motherfucker that's sticking up on the side of your neck. It's that pink, but it's different.
All right, I don't know what the fuck. All right, sorry. I think we still got
something quickly, but Keith Thurman would be a good opponent for Ennis. I think also Danny Garcia, but Danny Garcia has stated that he doesn't want to fight Ennis. He's not ready. He's not there to pass down the torch or something like that. So I mean, if Danny Garcia doesn't move up to 154, which I think is a huge mistake for him, then he needs to fight Ennis or retire because I've had enough of this guy.
All right, well, listen, I still got Reverend on the line. So, Reverend, thank you for calling in. Catch you on the next one, all right, man? Take it easy.
All right.
Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to... Who else we got here? Let's go to 661. You're on the air. 661. What's on your mind?
I just want to talk about why so many boxing fans, the black boxing fans in general, the Latino ones are racist. Because to everybody on the panel, you guys don't have to answer. I'll answer for you. What's the definition of a race? Like the different categories of humankind, right? With specific traits, like a race. What's another definition of a race? An objective or a competition to someone. So naturally, we're all in competition. Naturally, we don't even know it. That's why I've revealed in this earth, I've revealed more than any of the China haters could ever reveal. Elon Musk, Trump, all these people who get worshipped. They know it. They just won't ever admit it because apparently we're in a competition. But just look up the origins of Jack in the Box and you'll see. I'm the most truth to ever walk the earth. They all know it. Peace out.
Fighter Spirit. Fighter Spirit. Yeah, Fighter Spirit. I tried watching that video you posted about the Jack in the Box. Call me slow, man, but I didn't get it. I didn't get the connection there. Fighter Spirit? Oh, he hung up.
He's gone.
I hope they didn't get to him. Well, call back, Fighter Spirit.
Elon Musk got to him.
Elon Musk and what's the Amazon guy? Bezos. Yeah. All right, let's go to another phone call. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like.
Hit that like button.
That's right. 951, you're on the air. 951, what's on your mind?
Yeah, what's up? Boom Boom guy.
Oh, Boom Boom.
LDBC in the house.
You sound kind of tired, but go ahead, yeah.
What'd you say?
You sound kind of tired.
It was a long night. You know, I had a fight party, and we saw exactly what we wanted to see. So let me just break down the fight. I thought it was headed toward fight of the year. First 6 rounds. It was that close. Like, Castano came out. He was good, you know, showed his heart. Charlo, you could definitely see a big difference in him. Castano, I think he came out the same person. You know, he might have made a little bit of adjustments, but, you know, it's kind of like someone losing 5 pounds. You can't really tell, you know, you can't really tell when someone loses 5 pounds. You know, he didn't change much. So Charlo, you can actually see the adjustments. He didn't want to get back into the ropes. He kept pivoting and pivoting and pivoting away from the ropes. And it was 3-3 the first 6 rounds. But I think after that, Charlo just, he took it away. You know, that's a bad boy right there. He is in the history books. He's in the history books.
You gave Castano 3 rounds, huh?
If someone's talking about Jermell Charlo, go ahead.
I said you gave him 3 rounds, huh? So you were fair. You were scoring it fairly. It wasn't like you were loaded up on Charlo.
Well, no, I wasn't. I was enjoying the fight, to be honest. The first 6 rounds, I saw both of those guys get hurt. I saw both of them get rocked and showed heart. I said, this is fight of the year. But he pulled away from it in a later round, like I think 7th, 8th, and 9th, and then he stopped him in the 10th. So, I mean, but it was a good fight. But Charlo showed that he is undisputed.
Well,
it wasn't an easy fight. He dug down.
What do you want to see from Charlo next? Crawford or a move to 160, Fundora?
No, I think he should defend see who's next. I think he should defend, right now at the junior middleweight. He should defend his titles. I don't like to see a guy just, I know he's not going to drop the belts, but I don't like to see a guy just move on to the next division. Cement yourself with some title defenses, and if a big name come through, that's good. If not, go get the big name at the next division.
There you go.
But he's going to make a lot more money than.
Sounds like a plan right there, man. All right, well, listen, Boom Boom Guy, thank you for calling in, and we'll catch you on the next one, all right, man? Take it easy.
All right, hey, one more thing, man. You guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You guys always criticizing these guys about their actions. It's like they're in the social media age. These athletes are doing the same thing the other athletes did way before them. They just didn't have Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, social media. Their life wasn't in the forefront every day. And on top of that, yes, fighters use the writers, if they write a story, a negative story about them, they use it as motivation.
That's right.
During training, they'll use that as motivation. So I don't look at that as a negative. I look at it as the life of an athlete.
Well, that's why I said
people use race too.
Yeah, that's why I said we look at it as a positive, because that means if they're listening to what we're saying, then we can put pressure on them to make the good fights. That way we don't have to pay for shitty pay-per-views.
Well, that guy was from ESPN, so that was a big. He's not listening to everybody, but that writer was from ESPN. So as soon as he said ESPN, that's what blew him up. His trainer tried to catch him and say, "Oh, we love him," because probably saying don't mess up the money opportunity. But no, he was enraged. He's an athlete. Athletes are warriors. They don't care about none of this politics stuff. No, you talk bad about me, I don't like you.
Well, that's the other thing. That's the other thing you mentioned. You mentioned that back in the pre-internet, we didn't know what they were doing. Let me tell you something. If I knew what they were doing and I found that out, I'd be on their doorstep with a Bible ready to kick some ass. How about that? That's just
right now about the Lakers. The Lakers stuff is getting exposed from way back then, and people aren't liking it. But all right, Boom Boom Guy out. Peace.
All right. Yeah,
Later,
Jimmy.
Boom Boom.
All right, yeah, Jimmy, you're delayed. I think every time you go, hey, Boom Boom, and he's already on the fucking way out. So,
Yeah, me too. You guys first.
Oh shit, they can't hear me.
No, we can't hear you.
I just want to say that I hope the PBC does something with Charlo. I mean, Charlo's right now the undisputed champion. Hopefully he gets a fight soon and doesn't go on a long layoff.
Exactly, yeah, because good point, Butcher. The last fight was almost a year ago. Well, it was supposed to be earlier. That's Castaño had an injury. But yeah, hopefully he doesn't stay on the bench for another year. Hopefully. All right, let's go to another phone call here. Oh, shit, sorry. Well, I already took the phone call. 929, you're on the air. 929, what's on your mind?
What's going on, BA? What's going on, Gonzalo? What's going on, Jimmy? I'm a little bit under the weather, but I just want to talk about the fight real quick. Don't want to take much of your time, Maybe Steve King might come here, take half of the show.
No.
But I want to say this, man. I was fairly impressed with Jermall Charlo yesterday, man. He fought better than he did the last time. One of the things that impressed me about him is that he knew what to do when the pressure was coming, and that was to not stay on the ropes. Like I heard a couple calls ago, he was or the last call, he was basically pivoting off, his front foot and trying to create distance. And that's what you got to do with a guy who brings the pressure. Castano is a little bit shorter. Still, I think he has T-Rex arms, but I got to give credit to Castano as well. But, that dude not only does he have an iron chin, but he has an iron will. But Charlo, to me, also surprisingly showed me that he's very durable. That round 5, that to me was the round of the year candidate right there for me. Absolutely phenomenal, captivating shit. But yeah, man, that's what you got to do with the guy. You got to punch and move, and not create distance, and not lay in there and keep your hands busy. And that's what he had to do to win. Even without the knockout, I still felt Charlo was going to win on the scorecards. It had nothing to do with any bias or anything like that. I thought he was winning the fight fair and square. I think they had one judge that had Castano winning, but I don't think that was going to be the factor. To me, that was just an all-around good fight. Undisputed at 154, you rarely don't see that, and that guy unified the titles, and to me, that's worthy of a pound for pound. I would say like almost top 5, for me.
Right. Well, I mean, listen, there's certainly an argument to be made about that pound for pound list. There's some names that you could take out. And by the way, Virtuoso, some people are saying that you get the COVID. Are you wearing your mask right now, or are you being responsible, socially responsible?
No. What it was, I'm having a fucking chest cough, man. It just sucks.
Yeah, take plenty of vitamin D.
Congested, but I'll be okay. I wear my mask, sometimes, but it's like, the thing is that thing really prevents you from breathing,
people
efficiently.
People need to step up to that. People need to step up to that. Well, listen, we got to move on, but thank you for your call, and call back next time, all right, man?
Always, man.
All right, take it easy, man. All right. Hey, don't forget to hit a like, fellas. Hit a like. I got to go dip out for a minute. You guys take over, please.
Yeah, BDA, I was going to say to Boom Boom, I don't have a problem with Charlo going after Mike Coppinger because that dude's always barking up the wrong fucking tree. And I don't have a problem with Charlo going against the Australian reporter because the dude said, don't shoot the messenger. Then all it said, are you scared to fight Tim Tszyu? Nah, that was inappropriate in the sense that, why the fuck are you asking that? I just won, became undisputed. And I don't have a problem with Derek James' comments because he was only defending his fighter and he was sounding pretty good because he's done a great job with other fighters that I do think he deserves Trainer of the Year. I have a problem when you shared the ring for 22 rounds with Brian Castaño because you knocked him out of the 10th and you went 12 with him the first fight, that after the fucking fight's over, you're putting up these videos like, yeah, fuck that bitch. Do I sound a little too sensitive? Maybe. But at the same time, you could have a little bit more class and not talk about the dude that you fucking shared the ring for with 22 rounds and, yeah, you won. You could just sound more eloquent. Yeah, man, I beat this guy. Because if you say he's a great fighter, you're only making yourself look better. Right? That's all I'm saying.
He's a guy that gets influenced pretty easily. So after the fight, the Castaño's up there. He's congratulating Charlo, and Charlo accepts the congratulations and everything's fine. But I think later on he starts hanging out with his trashy fucking friends, and then he's a guy that's again gets influenced pretty quickly, and then he starts acting like them and talking shit, not respecting Castaño. So that's the type of person he is, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, and you can't blame it on ignorance because if you were that poised, if you can control yourself, that with your fighting style reflects, if you can keep it together for 12 rounds and stay fucking focused, why are you losing your shit when you're kicking back with your friends? Don't you know what's fucking going on? I mean, obviously you're not ignorant. You can excuse ignorance because ignorant people don't know, but he's not ignorant. He knows what the fuck he's doing.
Well, it's like Bucho said. He's with around his boys, and they're sitting there saying, remember he said this, remember he said that, and probably refiring him up because there's really no need. And the thing is, if I was a fighter, the reason why I wouldn't talk like that, because there's going to be a day when you're sitting in the other locker room with your head in your hands with a towel over your head, and you just gave it everything you got, and you lost. You know what I mean? You got knocked out even, maybe. And you're going to have to deal with the consequences. You're going to hope the other guy in the winning dressing room had enough class not to bash you like that.
Well, and not only that, Jimmy, not only that, because, look, you could say that I sound like, oh, man, why the fuck you're too sensitive? But you walk into the wrong place saying the wrong shit to the wrong people, they'll shoot you, man. They'll kill you. And I'm just saying, I'm concerned for people that act like that because in this world, man, you can't be acting like that. I'm just saying.
You know what, Gonzalo? That's an excellent point because there's a lot of the same people that like this type of behavior that are the same ones that root for a guy like, what was the name of that gay boxer that beat up a barbershop guy because he was talking shit about him? And they go like, well, you talk shit, you get beat up in real life. And I'm thinking, well, this guy's Charlo's talking shit. I mean, if he gets got, are you guys going to be like, oh, yeah.
In the chat, somebody said super sardonic has a good comment. interesting comment that we can reflect upon. He says, "These guys are fighters, not beacons of humanity." It's like maybe we're expecting too much out of these guys.
That's true.
You seen what the Argentinians do in the football fields when shit don't go their way against like River Plate versus El Boca Juniors? Even among themselves, they'll kill each other. You telling me that if you're foreigners and you go over there, they're not gonna beat your ass, not because you're black or fucking white or Mexican, because the shit that you're fucking saying.
Hey, by the way, that they should have done a shootout between Argentinian barbecue and Texas barbecue. That's a subject for Second Renaissance right there. I'd never had Argentinian barbecue, but apparently some people say it's between Argentinian barbecue and Korean barbecue, and they say Texas barbecue is overrated. So I'd like to hear from some Texans and hear them defend Texas barbecue, because apparently that's under attack. Let's go to a couple of phone calls here. Let's go to 310. 310, you're on the air. What's on your mind? 310, you're on the air. Going once, going twice.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air, man.
Hello? Hey, how's it going, man? This is Ali Boom. This is Ali. I'll just go by that, man, instead of the Boombaye, because people can't pronounce that. But anyway, I was at the fight, great fight. Shout out to Ennis Boots, getting Clayton out of there. And two, obviously he needs better competition. Whether it's Danny Garcia, I think that's a great fight because of the Philly connection. And, Danny only has maybe two options. It's either him or Conor Ben in England. I don't see him going to England. I think that'd be a great fight too. But to the main event, right? It was back and forth. Like most people said, it was 3-3 to be completely honest with the fight. Shout out to both fighters. They look good, but obviously after maybe 8 to 9 rounds, Charlo was just using his jab, like you said, against the ropes. Of course, I was screaming to do that and get out the corner. Let his right hand go and let that lead hook go as well. I think for some of his plans, I think Fundora or Tim Tszyu would be the best thing. And maybe even if, Laura or anybody else could, come up, like even Hurt, even though he looks like he's retired, and then really just clean out the whole division, and no one can ever say that he ducked anybody at 54. Eventually moving up to 60, I think if they could do that in unison, if Spence, unifies with Crawford, and they can move up simultaneously is what I'm getting at, of course, right, to 54 for Spence, 60 for Mel. And then, of course, hopefully Maul can start, doing some big fights at 60. I think that Munguia turned him down. He was trying to be great with that. It didn't happen. Not a shot to Golden Boy. Got friends on the team sign. But anyway, I just want to say it was just great for Mel. I think we should put more respect on his name. A lot of people were disrespecting him before the fight. He had to use, the national pride just to get the USC, some of the USA fans, instead of going for Argentina, you know what I mean? And I get it. I get how, all the Latinos stick together. I have no problem with that. But at the end of the night, I just think that we should put more respect on his name, right? He's the 7th to do it in history, first at the 4-belt area at 154. And I talk my shit too, if, especially what Mike Compinger said against him, man. And I think that was way more classy than like a Madonna or a Duran who followed Sugar Ray Leonard's, wife to the hotel. You don't have to go back, in time. But yeah.
Hey, Paula, can I ask you a question real quick? Did you say your name is Ali Kill Him?
No, Ali Boombaye. But that was just an old name.
Okay. Well, Boombaye and Guyanian, in that language means kill him.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what that means.
Exactly. I thought there was a little French on it too. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's background is. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, 661. Good call. Good points. Call back next time, all right, man?
Yep. You guys have a blessed day. Thanks.
You too, man. Go ahead. Oh, hold on a second. Did I hang up on him? Or are you still there? Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. Did you see that? You must have seen the movie, right, Ali? Remember the Africans were yelling, Ali, Boombaye? Because that's what that means, Ali, kill him.
Seen the movie. That was after. That was me.
And Duran was a piece of shit too, before.
Yeah, he was deep down inside, he was a good dude, but then when something about Leonard triggered him, and he grabbed his junk in front of his wife. I think he even said that he went to Clubber Lang on her. I mean, that was strange, man. That was a strange thing from Duran. I think, what did Leonard say? I read his biography not that long ago. think he said something about why he pissed Duran off. But then afterwards, they became friends. Hagler and Leonard. That's the one that they never patched things up there. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 661. 661, you're on the air. 661, what's on your mind?
Yo, I didn't mean to hang up on you, BJ. My point is that Castaño won the first fight, right? And it just, my point is how Latinos in general, I mean, they love Trump for a reason, right? Latinos in general have to do the most. They have to go overboard just to even get respect or props, right? Like me, I'm a Latino, and I've accomplished more than any of these professional victims ever will in their entire life, any of these China haters. It's a fact. Me as an artist, I'm the most accomplished artist to ever walk the earth. It's a fact, BDA. But look who you have on the forefront. Have you heard of the new affirmative action professional victim they're propping up? Can you believe that he's pushing the vax?
I don't even know who any of those. I don't know. Like, you're talking Chinese to me. No pun intended. I don't know who Kendrick is. So.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar is the new affirmative action prop that's being pushed right now. The new rapper that's like, oh, he's so God. They're all pushing him, and in one of his songs, he's pushing the vaccine, saying that I was laying in bed and I started praying for the Pfizer. There's a reason these little dumb puppets are in the forefront.
Okay,
while
well, listen.
Like me.
Well, that's listen. It's gonna be Second Renaissance Week this week, so if you want to drop by, and because I've always been meaning to. Every time I want to ask you something, you sort of prevaricate and you don't give me a straight answer. So that Second Renaissance would be a great place for you to tell us because, like I said, that whole Jack in the Box theory that you have on the video that you did, I didn't get it. I'm slow. I didn't understand it. So I need you to sit down and explain it to us.
Oh, I will on Second Renaissance. My point is just that Castaño won the first fight, but in America that's ran by Caucasians, the China haters, the Caucasians. They either need to put themselves in the forefront or the professional victims so they can control everything. Because they already know the professional victims like the back of their hand. They already know everything they're going to say, they're going to promote. It's not a threat. They're not worried about that. That's why they'll push the like Kendrick Lamar who's pushing the vaccine and shadow ban me. But yeah, that's not my point. That's just my point. The Latinos have to do the most.
You should thank those Caucasians because they built the country. So,
well, listen, Fighter Spirit, everybody check out Fighter.
Who wants to play that game?
I mean, listen, everyone check out Fighter Spirit's chat. What's your channel again? Let's Be Real Entertainment. But it's got numbers.
No,
right?
It's not. My channel is Fighter Spirit, but the channel that Jack in the Box is on it's Let's Be Real ENT. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, shout out to you, Fighter Spirit. Hopefully, you jump by Second Renaissance this week.
And before I go, BDA, the Caucasians didn't build the country, Jimmy. They didn't.
Right.
It was 98% white until 1970, but you're right. The 2% built it. Fuck out of here, dude. Sell that race hustling bullshit to ignorant people. It ain't gonna work on me.
Oh, Jimmy.
Well, tell the same thing to Donald Trump, who hates China just because China's the wealthiest, the leading. You know the story, Jimmy. You're not mad at me, buddy. Peace and love, BDA.
I'm not taking it personal. I'm just saying China does suck. They hate us and they want us dead. They're sending fentanyl. 108,000 people your age died last year.
Stop it. Jimmy, the biggest criminals are your ancestors, not China. Peace.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Jimmy, he's right. We gotta decolonize. You know what? You gotta help us, Jimmy, decolonize boxing. That's the first thing. You gotta pay for your ancestors' sins, man. Come on.
Yep. No, I know. It's what we get for bringing people out of the Stone Age.
All right. Well, listen, that was Fighter Spirit. Like I said, his views do not represent the views of everybody on this panel. And I still don't understand. He still hasn't explained who the China haters are, but we'll get to the bottom of it. And hopefully, Jimmy, if you want to drop by and continue this conversation with him. But I will. I suggest you don't
I'm
take
just
what he
firing
says
back at him.
Yeah, I suggest you don't take what he says too seriously. That's my suggestion.
No, I know. And listen, I'm just totally being a ball buster right now with him. Don't take anything I'm saying. I'm just firing back at him.
All right.
So,
hey, listen. As long as he sticks away from the rare Mexican Canadian species, that's I'm cool with that. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 226. 226. You're on the air. 226. What's on your mind? 226, you're on the air.
For I do want to see Jimmy. Jimmy, your fucking ancestors didn't build this fucking country, all right? So let's get that out of the way. It was the goddamn Chinamen who built really the fucking railroads. All right, so let's get that out of the fucking way.
Yeah, the United States. That's all.
Secondly,
That's all the United States is. It's a railroad. That's just one giant railroad. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Slugger.
I live on it. I live on a railroad. That's funny you say that.
Okay. What are you, a hobo, Jimmy?
You live on a. Oh, that's funny. You live on a railroad. What are you, a fucking? You're a train wheel. Is that what you are? You're a train wheel.
Oh my
Living
God.
on a railroad, like you're a train wheel. Come on, Jimmy. Come on, Jimmy.
Slugger, what's on your mind?
Say it one more time. I didn't hear you.
For these games. Jimmy, I don't got time for these games. Please. I came to talk business with the BDA boxing. I don't got time for these games. Please.
Go ahead, Slugger.
That's probably why you brought up the railroad then.
Oh, what do you mean by rail? Jimmy, you're fucked up in the head, man. To call me to say rail, road. I seen the way you just said it. Rail, road. Come on, Jimmy.
What's going on here, man? What is going on here? What is this conversation?
He just said he was calling up to talk boxing, but he called up and he mentioned a railroad. That's all I was pointing out. I didn't know I said it any particular way, but
talk boxing. I'll tell you what I called it. But I'll tell you what I called it.
All right, this ain't the locomotive debate arena. Let's get going.
I know So the reason I called is it's real quick. 20 seconds. I'm out of here. Bucho, I called the rival store the other day. You picked up and you still acted like it wasn't you. All right, enough of that shit. I know what you're doing. You don't want to give me a discount. You recognized it's Slugger, and you knew you had it in you to have to give me a discount, so you're acting like you're somebody else. I don't appreciate it. I've heard you've given the other guys discounts. I'm sick of it, all right? That's all I got to say.
You got me. You got
me. For taking up the line.
Yeah, you're blowing up the spot, as they say.
I'm out of here.
All right, Slugger, you're blowing up this Bucho's spot there. He's got that rival connection, but he can't get you that gear unless you pay your dues. In the sexual way, I believe. All right, Bucho, or am I making shit up for you?
You're way off, man.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, well, listen, let's go to another phone call here. And don't forget to hit the like button, fellas. Hit the like. 310, you're on the air. 310, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up? I had a call back. This is Ali again. Just want to say Europeans did not build America. That sounds crazy as hell. It's obviously the Native Americans, blacks, and Latinos, and the Chinese with the railroads. But to bring it back to boxing,
no, you're right. Yeah. Chinese. The Indians. Yeah, no, those teepees were awesome.
And my buddy Scrappy. You said what's that?
No, nobody can build a teepee and disc and I mean, no written language, no mathematics.
No.
But yeah. But they built the country.
Started mathematics. I don't know what you're talking about. Africans brought all Europeans out of the Stone Age. They went through Sicily. That's why they were called niggas, even though they're gangsters.
No, wait, listen, the N-word. Hey, the N-word. Come on, man.
All right, but let's be honest. He's not an anthropologist worth his weight in spit who still buys into the out of Africa theory. But that's another topic.
Hey, let me tell you, this show is...
You can focus on the African, but I mentioned the Native Americans and the Latinos, and the Native Americans got it worse than the blacks. I'll be completely honest. Forget our 40 acres and a meal. Native Americans are still, cracked up on meth and can barely even do anything, right? In any sports or even type of, acting level, entertainment, lawyers, you don't even hear about any of them making it out, right? And that's due to Europeans, how you guys did Native Americans. But like I said, let's go back to boxing. I think Zurdo did great last night. He didn't get a lot of props because, you know what I mean? Like I said, everything else going on. And I had my buddy Scrappy on the undercard who knocked a guy through the ropes. And the cameraman had to catch him, threw him back in the ropes. It was a second round knockout. But I think Zurdo and Ball would be a great fight if Canelo doesn't take that fight, or better Biev for Zurdo, and then we can get like an undisputed at 175.
Hey, by the way, Ali, I don't know if you know, but we have a non-boxing channel, and we're going to be doing, it's called Second Renaissance. It's going to be Second Renaissance week, all week, no boxing, just non-boxing. So if you want to drop by, we got to keep talking about this whole out of Africa theory, because that's something that we could talk about there. All right, man?
Oh, yeah, everything. I mean, white scientists from America agree that who are like not religious. You know what I mean? Everything comes from Ethiopia around East Africa and a certain way, and everything branched from there. It is what it is.
That was a 1990s theory by academia to push that there was no race, but that has been because of genome and fossil humanoids found in Asia.
Yeah, I didn't say anything about race.
That has been debunked. We'll talk about it in the Second Renaissance.
Is race when it started in America?
All right. Well, listen.
You know, and I have Europeans, Asians, Latinos. Everyone's in my family. It's about history and facts, though. Like I said.
All right. Well, listen. We'll talk about that more.
Yeah.
Drop by on Second Renaissance. We'll be posting the link in the chat. And thanks again for calling back, Ali. Catch you in the next one, right, man?
Yep.
And Mr. BD, I gotta say again, I was busting his balls. Like I said, don't take anything I said to that dude serious. Because like I said, I was just firing back because he always comes at Caucasians. But I didn't mean anything. I was just running shit. So let's keep it about boxing, guys.
All right.
Well, listen. Can I say something to the caller? Yeah, man. Zurdo Ramirez did look good, but he meant no resistance. That's why he looked like $1 million. That motherfucker's huge, dude. Over 200. But that's the Mexican Primo Carnera right there, dude.
That's a good way of putting it, man.
Yeah, that's a fucking Mexican Primo Carnera. Over 200 pounds. That motherfucker's big.
Yeah, I think him and Better Biev are going to be one of the best fights, or him of Bivol. I'm definitely waiting for those and paid money to go see it. Hopefully in Vegas.
Because of the size, which means he's not all that skilled, but since he got no resistance, he can look real creative in there and look like $1 million. Because the dude that he was facing fucking Bozell, he's not that good.
All right, well, listen, caller, we got some feedback on your end, so I'm going to have to move on.
You're saying Better Biev and Bivol would beat Zordo before I go. I'm just asking the question.
Gonzalo, did you hear the question?
Like both the Russians right, against them. Like
the size discrepancy won't be as much as like with Canelo. Now with Zurdo Ramirez, you got a guy that's 6'2.5", weighing at 204 pounds when he steps into the ring. So he'll probably take Bibel's punches better, and it will be more competitive against Zurdo Ramirez. And Zurdo Ramirez is less skilled, but like I said, the size alone makes a whole difference in the world, in my opinion.
So. But I didn't get to the prediction though, like draw, win, knockout. Like
Bivol still wins. Bivol still wins. Bivol still wins, and he'll still thread the needle in between Zurdo's punches. Because Zurdo's very basic. Like as he looks like $1 million bucks.
Or knockout? Decision or knockout?
Decision. Because Zurdo got a tough chin when he fought that South American dude 2 fights ago. The dude got hit in the chin with the headbutt, and he was able to take it. So he's as strong as an ox. That motherfucker's tough. Zurdo Ramirez, make no mistake about that.
Yeah.
But he's kind of basic. That's why I said Primo Carnera, not just because of the size, because of like the boxing skill is very like rudimentary. Yeah, that's basically it.
All right. Well,
so you think he should switch trainers from Julian at Brick House and go to Eddie, and he would be a better fighter?
All right, Gonzalo's. Yeah, Gonzalo started fading out. All right, listen, thank you for your call, man. We'll catch you in the next one, right?
Saying, like, if he changed the trainer from Julian, who was also training 2 other people on the card, like Kareem Hackett, who won, and Scrappy, who got the knockout through the ropes, I think he might even, be better with Mikey Garcia. Maybe you think he needs to change trainers, or is he just going to, got to take that loss and just hopefully get better? What do you think?
No, well, he can couple his punches together, and he can string the combinations, and they look like they're fluid when he's facing the guy that gave him no resistance. But when you got a guy that's changing the tempo like Bivol, you're not gonna be able to release the hands and look like that pretty and that creative against a guy that's that much better. So I think that Bivol still beats him, though. That's what I'm saying. But that's about it with that. That's the last thing
listen, Ali, we gotta move on to another. We gotta move on to another call. We'll keep this discussion for another episode, right, man? But by the way, there's some real.
Okay, thank you.
There's some feedback there. Every time I talk to you, I hear feedback on your end. I think you got the speakers on. I think you got to turn those speakers off, man.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I would have took that off way earlier, man.
All right, no problem, man.
No feedback.
All right, take it easy, man. Thanks for calling.
All right, thank you. Yep.
All right, hey, man. This show is getting crazy today, man. We're all over the place. And speaking of all over the place, I think in order to restructure what we've had here, we gotta do what we gotta do, and you guys know what I'm talking about. It's that time of the episode for communiques. You guys want to read a couple of communiques? We only get the best from everybody.
Fucking right.
There you go. That's the spirit,
save us with the communiques, brother.
The communiques always come in from all over the place, fellas. Listen, communiques, you can write to us at the BDA email address that's in the About Us section in the YouTube page. Call in. People calling from all over the world. Write in, actually. Yeah. All right. Communiques. Let's get right down to it, fellas. I don't read the addresses anymore unless the person on the email insists, because I don't want to try to. I want to try to preserve anonymity as much as possible. But I do give their email address. I mean, their name, the name on their email address. This comes to us from Samuel Stretch, I think, and he says, "Hey guys, great show. I love listening to it while I commute and practice my stretches. Keep up the good work." Well, there you go. It's a positive email today to start off with. That's nice on a good Sunday afternoon over here. What is that?
Was it on a subway?
Yeah, that looks like it's a New York. Or is that a prison or a subway car?
Subway.
Okay,
looks like a subway.
That looks like the New York. Hey man, if that's a San Francisco subway, then this guy might be inviting some dangerous stuff.
Nah, if that was the San Francisco, the other dude would be fondling his fanny.
Oh, okay. You know what, Jimmy? Come on.
Oh.
All right, this comes to us from Jesus from California. He insisted on the address. Jesus from California. He says, "I hate when these telecasts stall until the main event. I go crazy and I keep putting a gun in my mouth. One of these days, I'm gonna pull the trigger. Showtime sucks." Oh, come on. Well, you don't have to get all that worked up over a fucking... But yeah, it's because the Ennis main event, I mean, the Ennis fight ended up way early. So they had to stall. They got no choice. Right, Jimmy? Don't they have like the commission sets the time at which the main event starts, right? The minimum time?
Yeah, it was like, what was it, an hour and a half? It was some ridiculous amount of time. They had to put all that filler in there. But I just got to say to my boy here in the picture, if you oiled your weapon more often, you wouldn't be doing that, because nothing tastes worse than gun oil.
I mean, what is this guy doing? It's true, man. It's my goodness gracious. Hopefully he's okay. Yeah.
The only good thing is that they're only having like 3 fights, where it's not 4 or 5 fights that you can anticipate when the main event is coming.
That's true. Yeah, the UFC, the way they do it is they rush everything, man. They don't talk all that much between fights. Just boom, 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 boom. Get it over with.
When you have that much time between BDA, I guarantee you that show lost viewers.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed. You know how many people turned the channel, fell asleep? I mean, you just can't do that. And it comes down to this. You got to tell the fighters. You know what I mean? You got to just start saying, listen, you don't have the option to say like, oh, I'm going to make them wait another 20 minutes, so I'm not ready. Bullshit. ESPN's not like that with their fighters. They tell them we have a certain schedule. You have to be in the ring no later by this. Deal with it.
That's
you know what I mean? And they just got to start doing that. You just give these guys too much leeway. You know what I mean?
True. You're absolutely right, Jimmy. You're absolutely right. Hopefully they speed things up.
Half these fools show up hours before the fight. There's no excuse.
That's right.
They should already be wrapped up, their gloves on, and ready to go.
That's ready to rock. That's right. All right, this comes to us from Jonathan. No address. He says, fuck. I'm the ultimate contrarian, and I always go against the BDA Prediction League. Well, I picked Castano, and now I have to sell my grandmother to a bunch of Arabs. Don't make the same mistake I did. Join the BDA Prediction League. Well, yeah, that we've been encouraging people since we started. And shout out to MMA champion Felipe for running it. And you got some good people there, man. People making top-notch predictions. Sorry about your... I mean, what is this, fucking Taken? They're just auctioning people over...
Sorry, I wasn't near my phone to mute. I couldn't stop laughing. I wasn't near my phone. That picture's unbelievable, BDA.
I mean, these people are crazy, man.
They're crazy, these people.
Gambling their family.
This dude's on fire.
Yeah, well, he says, this comes to us from Can't Stop the Ron. That's Ron. And he says, today's fighters don't know nothing about pain. They think they've seen it all because they grew up in a ghetto or spent a little time in jail. If you train with me, I'll show you what real suffering is. After my fiery workouts, boxing will be a breeze. Well, first of all, okay, is this guy... I've heard the expression light a fire under his ass. I never heard the one light a fire under his balls. This guy's burning his balls off like a chestnut. Look at that.
Jesus Christ. There was a fighter, was it? Was it that Italian dude who would fought Sugar Ray Robinson a bunch of times? I forget. There was one of them in the 50s who would eat whole cloves of garlic the day before and the day of the fight. Just chew them and eat them. Because when you eat it, it comes out in your sweat and it stinks. And on top of that, if you eat enough of it, it can actually make your sweat burn your eyes. You're not used to it. So he would do that to get the sweat in people's eyes to burn it, plus the smell, just anything he could. A lot of guys wouldn't shave too. That's another thing. If you shave your head or just get a beard, because if it can loosen up the skin, it makes the skin raw and easier to cut.
Hey, by the way,
kinds of nasty little tricks.
Jason Costa in the chat says, "Is that Benavides' manager?" That's not Samson. That's not Samson Lukowicz. If he looked like a porn star from the '70s, then you'd know it was Samson Lukowicz. This guy looks
if it
like
was Lukowicz, he'd be throwing a child into the fire.
Oh, come on, Jimmy, come on. What the fuck, man?
I don't like that, dude. He holds up. Somebody like, dude, he's terrible for boxing. He's behind Benavides being on a fucking, a career take it easy fight. I mean, seriously. He prices that kid out of all these fights, says, down the road. He's missed out on at least 3 fights that I know of on that mannerism. And now we get David Lemieux. Who the fuck wants to see that fight?
I mean, other than Lemieux's Canadian fans, not many. Hey, shout out to Tony Boswell for his contribution to the... Come on. Shout out to Tony Boswell for his contribution with the super chat. He says, much respect to BDA and chat stopped in to show support and hit the like button. Salute. Yeah, hit the like button, and shout out to Tony. Tony, thank you for your contribution, man, and happy birthday.
Thank you, Tony.
And happy birthday. His birthday was yesterday. I think it was Friday or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. So shout out to Tony, and many more to come. Many more to come, I hope. Many more in front of you, buddy. All right, shout out to Tony Boswell, and let's go back to the emails here. This comes to us from He-Man. He says, finally found a boxing show I can listen to while I practice my swings. No foolishness, just plain old boxing. Love it. Sincerely, He-Man. Well, there you go. You can listen to the show at your leisure, and you can check us out on Spreaker, Spotify, and iTunes. Put that in the background. It's a good little entertainment there in the background. Shout out to He-Man. This comes to us from Dave Goggles. And he says, Jimmy, check it out. Cialis, 10 milligrams a day. Test E, 220 milligrams a week. Mast P, 350 milligrams a week. DHB, 350 a week. Tren A, 175 milligrams a week. Superdrol, 20 milligrams a day. Jeez, Luis, how are my gains looking?
Pretty good. Pretty damn good there, buddy.
I didn't understand.
I would say that's a little heavy on the GH, but you don't need that much. Expensive too. He must be independently wealthy.
Well, judging by the person on his right there, I think maybe he's holding himself. Yeah,
it's the mom.
Is that his mom?
I hope it is.
100%. Look at the face; they're just the same, semblance-wise.
Oh, come on! Don't say that about the mother, man. Are you saying she looks like a dude?
Hey, Mom, come in the bathroom and take a picture of me flexing in the mirror. That would have been a comfortable conversation, huh?
Look at the glasses. Look at the face structure. That's the mother for sure.
Oscar in the chat says, "Is that Pigeon?" No, that's Pigeon when he was young. Yeah, that's Pigeon. That's Pigeon when he was young. But Jimmy, what about? I didn't understand half of what that is. Maybe on Second Renaissance you can break down exactly what this stack means. But why did he include Cialis in there? Cialis, isn't that
Cialis? Probably for his penis. Is it Cialis? Is that a penis medicine? Is that the thing to give you a bonus like that other shit?
Yeah, but what does that have to do with that? What does that have to do with the rest?
Because when you flood your body with testosterone, it can affect your sex drive. It can give you a soft libido because your body counters that with estrogen. Depends. Some people, it gets affected by it and they have a hard time getting fucking wood. And other guys fucking get as hot as Chinese math.
There you go. All right. I've never had to use any of those things in my life, by the way. Either the PEDs or the sex drugs. So that's just me, man.
For weightlifting, it would help you to get that blood flowing, coursing through your veins, to get that fucking pump. That it would keep like a hemodilator. How do you say that, Jimmy? When it dilates.
Well, that's what that penis medicine was originally. They were testing it for blood pressure medicine. That was the intended fucking, that whole getting an erection from it was a side effect that they weren't planning on, but it made them tens of billions of dollars.
Well, that's the other thing, though.
From a mistake.
Would you be taking Cialis in front of your mother? I mean, who wants to walk around with his boner at his mother? That's just sick to me, man. All right, then this last one comes to us from Hard Faith, and he says, I read that email you got last week from the guy living in the haunted house. He needs to receive cleansing from the one true church. If he attends my weekend retreats, I can fill him with the Lord's love. God's love is growing, and it needs to be released. Call me.
Wait a minute. Is that Tim? Is that Tim Tszyu? Is that the Castano's son?
Yeah, that kind of does look like Tim Tszyu a little bit. And the guy in the background is Ryan Garcia or something. I don't know, man. But listen, I don't know what to say to this one, man.
That's shooting threes.
All right, that's enough of that. That's enough foolishness. These people don't take that. If you can't respect the BDA email, don't write in. All right, that's what I say. But anyway, fellas, that was emails, communiques.
Keep them coming. Those are awesome.
Yes, they come to us from all over the world. We got a whole international community here. And, I've heard a lot of people saying that this show is great just for the mere fact that you can call in, you can write in, or you can drop by out to the panel on Fridays. I mean, or you can leave your opinion in the comment section or in the chat. I mean, yeah, it's all about you, fellas. This is your show. We're just living in it. That's my opinion on it, and I think that's why it works so well. Well, I mean, I think we said it all. Actually, sorry, no. Well, before we go, it wasn't just Charlo Castaño and Ennis last night. It was also Tony Yoka, the Frenchman, Olympian, gold medalist, taking on Martin Bakole. And boy, oh boy, Bakole slapped him around for 10 rounds. Wasn't even close, wasn't ever close. And I don't know how many of you saw the fight, but people in the Discord were saying apparently Yoka was the guy that supposedly beat Joe Joyce in the Olympics, and that's considered a highway robbery. And a lot of people think that it was Yoka's karma coming back to bite him in the ass. And so I watched that. I didn't watch the whole Joe Joyce fight, but Tony Yoka, like I said, apparently they robbed Joe Joyce. And this Yoka guy, he's celebrating like he actually won. I mean, even the guy the Korean guy that got the gold medal against Roy Jones, he wasn't celebrating all that much. He knew that he didn't deserve that. Meanwhile, this Yoka, he's telling the crowd to pump it up, like he's at a rave or something. I don't know. It was just that it was a little bit of karma, I think.
That was the DAZN card, right?
Technically, it was ESPN Plus, I think.
Oh, it was ESPN Plus? Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Didn't Zorro fight? Was it Zorro? Did he fight too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did he do?
He knocked out the dude, with the body shot. He was just looking really big and using the size to a disadvantage, like I said, against a limited dude to where he's going to put his skills on full display. He's going to shine like $1 million because he's fighting on his terms.
Yeah, well, that's didn't you just describe Zurdo's career in a nutshell? Limited opposition. That dude's had 50 fights and he's fought nobody. And I can't attest that shit. And that's the reason why Top Rank blasted him. They brought him 2 fights. He said no. They didn't give him a 3rd. Screw.
Hey, by the way,
they also had the.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, BD.
I was going to say Kovalev.
Okay. They also had BDA. They had the Thriller, and then all these guys are just debutantes or like they're barely starting their career. But the whole Vargas brother things with the younger guy making his first fight, he's probably the most talented guy, Emiliano El General Vargas. And I thought that was pretty cool. But another thing, Holyfield's son, 9-6. This was his 10th fight. He got knocked out. It's back to Chick-fil-A. Yeah, it's back to Chick-fil-A for him because his dad lost all the money.
Come on, Gonzalo's pulling no punches, man.
They made it like this whole. They made it this whole like we're gonna talk about the Vargas brothers, then Holyfield, and we're talking about how the son used to work for Chick-fil-A. But I'm saying like he got no more money left. Yeah, so it's back to.
Hey, did all 3 Vargas kids? Did they all win? The Vargas children, or?
Yeah, it looks like the
brothers, right?
the Fernando, the first one that fought, he's got power. He got the knockout. Then the middle guy, Amado El Malvado, he won on points. He looks like to have like less power, but the younger one, he's also got power too, and that was his debut. He knocked out the dude, but I mean, it's only his first fight. But yeah, it is what it is.
3 sons fighting professionally, huh?
That's insane, man.
Yeah,
that's odd. That's odd.
Fucking, you know what? It's kind of like contagious Fernando Vargas, he got a little bit of like maybe brain trauma, and when he talks, it's not like always like the best. But it was like when he's speaking about his children, he's so proud. He almost started like shedding a tear. It was cool to watch him, dude. I'm happy for him and for his family. Just like everybody else that won, man. I'm happy for everybody that won.
Yeah, usually most fighters fight so their kids don't have to.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Just weird.
He even said that. He said that initially he didn't want them to fight, but he said, "Hey, look, put them to the test, and they passed. So, let's see what happens." But man, yeah, professional boxing, it's no joke, man. The dedication. It's not just joke. It's the grind. It's the training over and over.
It's a lonely sport too.
Yeah.
It's nothing like a team sport is so much better when it comes to you have camaraderie, you have misery, you can commiserate with your teammates. It's not all on you. I mean, you don't get to share the victory. You take the victory by yourself, but you also share the defeat by yourself. It's a very, very tough sport, and it breaks dudes mentally as well as physically.
That's right. Yeah, that's why you need a good support group in the gym or a manager or whatever. Somebody that keeps you grounded. And you gotta stay. You gotta like it. You gotta like that grind. Like Lomachenko or these guys that after a fight they take 2 weeks off and then they're back in the gym. They're not taking a whole month off, getting fat, and then gotta go to fat camp, and they waste their whole time just losing weight, not working on their skills. But in any event, listen, we said it all. Actually, sorry. Kovalev fought as well last night at cruiserweight.
Did he?
That's right.
I guess Pulev's brother, Tervel Pulev. And apparently he won. I haven't seen it, but he won a 10-rounder apparently. But the power is no longer. I mean, he didn't drop this guy or anything. They say they describe it as uneventful. So.
And for him to run his mouth the way he has been about Canelo lately, it would have been the same result as Bivol if I would have been given proper time to train. Dude, shut the fuck up. Guys used to fight 10 times a year. I mean, stop it with that. If anything, you should have been fresher because you just went through a camp. You didn't get a chance to let that vodka ruin your body even more.
Well, that's the thing, though.
Raging alcoholic, and everybody in boxing, the worst kept secret is you couldn't take it to the body anymore.
Well, that's the thing, though, Jimmy. If you are taking fights back to back to back to back, and there's no recuperation process, I mean, it could be negative too, right?
It could if you've had a career of it. But he was fighting. He would have usually 8 months to a year off between his matches. At the end, there he was a once-a-year guy like everybody else. You know what I mean? And it's going to be the ruin of the sport. I'm telling you, if things don't change, you can't sustain a sport with the infrequency of people are fighting now. That's why I have a glimmer of hope with people chasing the undisputed now, because that's going to force people to, but like you said, put the belts in play, which is important. We all hate the sanctioning bodies. We hate what they stand for. We hate the greed. But without them, the sport would be rudderless.
That's true. That's true. Even I, who hate the sanctioning bodies, I have to admit they serve a purpose. However awful it might be, the rest of it, they serve a purpose. We can't get, it's that the only thing you can do is go all out and say, I'm not going to pay attention to them. But you can't half-ass it. You can't half-ass and say, fuck the sanctioning bodies, and at the same time recognize them. It's going to be all out or all in. That's what I say. That's what my girlfriend says as well. And by the way, I also want to point something out about Kovalev. Canelo did give him a short interval in between fights, but he also did the same thing to Caleb Plant, and Caleb Plant said, screw you. So nobody forced Kovalev to do it. Is it greed at a certain point?
Nobody. Yeah, thank you. Nobody told him to take that $10 million. You know what I mean? That's what it was. You're angry. Be angry with yourself and let your greed overtake your wisdom, if that's what happened. But it would have been the same result if he had another month off. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Dude's a shell.
He's back at cruiserweight, and apparently I'm going to see the fight, see how he looked, because apparently he won almost every round, so maybe he's not as finished as we think. But then again, at 200 pounds, can he take the body shots up there? That's going to be interesting to see. And
I'm also curious as who's his manager, Main Events, because I'm shocked how fast, where is Main Events? They were a powerhouse in the 80s and 90s. To see them down to just nothing is kind of sad.
Well, they've always sort of had to play second. Oh, go ahead, Gonzalo, yeah.
Good old Katie Dewar. She's still looking pretty good nowadays, no?
Listen, she's an older lady. What do you want from her, man? Can't speak too much on that, Gonzalo. But yeah, Main Events, they used to be, they always had, to a certain extent, they were always playing second fiddle to Top Rank and Don King. And now Kovalev was sort of their the guy that they were hinging on for a while there, and now I haven't heard from them.
They came of age after, I believe, the '84 Olympics. I believe they signed like a shit ton of those guys coming right out of the Olympics.
But it wasn't main events before, right? Wasn't it America Presents with Dan Goosen or something?
It might have been. I can't remember. I can't remember because it was Dan Duva, Lou Duva.
Right.
You know, and then he died, and his wife carried on the business.
Hey, by the way, we got a phone call here. A late phone call here. Let's see who's 386. You're on the air. 386. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I have to vehemently disagree with Jimmy because, first of all, did you see? I don't think you guys saw the fight, but you should see how healthy Kovalev looked. He was boxing beautifully, could take shots, and if you saw him in that Canelo fight, dude was a shell of himself. His arms were so like the fluid they drained out of that guy. His arms looked like little straws before the fight. It wasn't that he didn't have a chance to train. It was because they drained the guy. Like, he couldn't fight like that. Did you see him in the fight? The guy
then why did he take the fight?
So if he could be like Bivol was, if he could be that healthy, yeah, he beats Canelo easily.
No, he doesn't.
Might even stop him. Yes, he does.
Well, didn't happen. He got stopped. The alcohol. He's a raging alcoholic who beats women and dogs.
Oh, wait a minute.
I hope he gets his head stoved in.
Are you sure about that, Jimmy? I think you should look up the court case. But
he was found guilty.
I really don't think. Did you see how healthy Bivol was before the fight? I mean, he was able to be hydrated. Kovalev was a little skeleton.
I don't know about the skeleton
There was no
part,
hydration clause in the Bivol fight. I know that.
Yeah, they didn't have one. Yeah, and that's why Bivol was the best version of himself. Kovalev, I saw him before that fight when he was laying on the couch, and his arms just looked so skinny and narrow. And
it's his legs, though, brother. It's his legs. That's his downfall. His legs have always been putridly skinny, and the alcohol made it even worse. That's the reason why his trainer, who ratted him out to Ward's people, that's why Ward came right out the gate shooting for his balls and belly because they knew his legs were gone. And everybody who gets in a clinch with him says the same thing. Anybody who's even spied him said it's insane how easy it is to push him around. Like, he's just got pencil legs.
Oh, you available? Good, how you doing? His legs were fine last night at 190 pounds.
Hey, Jackson, are you at the Roadhouse right now?
Oh, I'm at Wawa.
What the heck is that?
Wawa? What is that?
It's a what?
Yeah. You guys never heard of? But
no.
Must be
a restaurant.
I'm be out of here in 1 second.
All right. Well, listen. Don't let us stop you from enjoying your meal or whatever it is that you're at.
No, I don't need a receipt. Thank you. Have a good one. No, hold on. I'm walking out.
Jackson,
right now.
take it easy.
Wait, hold on. I'm leaving right now. So, I just have to say that because Kovalev boxed, it was only a 10-round fight, but you could just tell by the color of his skin. He was healthy, taking huge shots from a much bigger man, and you could always see Kovalev, even his prime days at 175, he was a little big for that division. And if you have something like a Kovalev that can hydrate and be healthy, he does beat Canelo.
Well, maybe we'll see the rematch someday.
In my opinion.
Maybe we'll see the rematch.
And I wouldn't call him a woman. Like I don't know why you have to call him a woman beater. Did you see,
because he was arrested and charged and pled guilty to punching a woman. I'm just saying, I'm going by what he pled guilty to.
He settled out of court.
Why would you pay a woman $800,000 if you didn't do it? I'm just asking.
That girl was so suspect that filed that lawsuit. I mean,
that's what I've heard. I've heard that the case. I've heard that the case is okay. So Jackson, go ahead. Thank you for your call, man, and we'll catch you in the next one, right, man? Yeah,
I'm just going to keep it BDA. Oh, sorry, BDA. Finish what you were saying.
Well, I'm just saying I heard the case wasn't as clear cut as they like. They say, well, he's a woman beater. I think that the people are saying that there's more to look into, and maybe Kovalev just.
And you know what? There might be BDA, but I keep the same energy, you know. And I gave Shakur shit when I found out he put hands on a woman like that. Any boxer, like people don't realize, man. I think people listen to this show realize the advantage a professional fighter has when it comes to being in a fight on the street. It's just, you can't even underscore how much of an advantage that is. And for them to beat a woman, and whether he did it or not, my thing is this: if he didn't plead guilty, he pled out of court. Okay, so why would he? You don't pay people almost $1 million if you didn't do anything. You say, fuck you, let's go to court. I'd rather spend $500,000 on lawyers so you don't fucking win. So my reputation doesn't get slaughtered. And he didn't do that. Instead, he decided to pay her. So I got to keep the same energy if, Well,
my thing is,
hands on a woman as a boxer.
I commend you for that, Jimmy. You're right. And again, not everyone is lucky to have lawyer extraordinaire Rafael Shapiro in the corner, because that guy, I will go to court. Bring any evidence you got against me. I got Rafael in my corner. I know I'm going to make it out of there all right. In regards to the Kovalev thing, look, that thing, it's never going to stop, man. And anytime Canelo or Kovalev fight now, they're always going to be linked for those guys that think that whole fight was bizarre. And there were some strange things in there. And was Kovalev at his best? Absolutely not. They did try to weight drain him. They did try to get him on a short training camp. But like Bucho said, look at the Bivol fight. When Canelo went to the ropes and Bivol was hesitant, and sometimes Bivol launched his combos and he wasn't always landing clean. Canelo's a slippery guy in there. And if you're not 100%, if you're not 100%, it's not a given that you're going to beat him, even if you are a light heavyweight. And that's what happened to Kovalev.
And can I tell you right now, Bivol would box the shit out of fucking Kovalev.
Well, man, listen, Kovalev is going to be interesting to see. I got to see the fight, too, because I don't know, I can't comment on it unless I've seen it. So I'm going to go check that out if I can find it later on today. But I got to get back to...
I heard that from a lot of sources, BDA, that he was drinking hard. Wow. Like even in training camp, he was pounding down vodka. So it is what
listen,
it is.
We'll see what happens. Hey, listen, I got to get back to, because I got to work on the Second Renaissance for this week. We got a lot planned for Second Renaissance week. We're going to be doing, trying to broadcast, maybe not every day, but we're going to try. Can't promise that it's going to be every day, but bringing you a lot of entertainment. So check out the Second Renaissance. Bucho, can you post the links, please? I'm going to look for it myself here at the same time.
Yeah, BD, with the Kovalev fight, it was pretty boring. It was like the battle of the 39-year-olds, and it was just back and forth between ones and twos.
Wait a minute.
Gonzalo, right cross.
Gonzalo, Pulev was 39 as well?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, he's undefeated, but he's also 39.
Well, there you go then. That, I thought he was in his 20s or something, or younger. All of a sudden...
the older Pulev's in his 40s, right? 43?
Yeah. Well, all of a sudden, that doesn't sound that good. Like, wow, Kovalev looked great. Well, I mean, he doesn't have to make weight anymore.
Impressive now.
Yeah. It's like, hey, Evander Holyfield looked great against, Emil Stewart's corpse. I'm like, all right, well, I mean, I have to see the fight again. I haven't seen it, so... I want to see what it's all about. But I trust Jackson. If he said that Kovalev looked good, then that's probably what it is. By the way, okay, I found here's Second Renaissance on Odyssey, and then we also have the Second Renaissance on YouTube. For those of you that don't understand the concept here, Odyssey is a different platform from YouTube, and they're more lax in what we can show. We can play more copyrighted material. Obviously, we're not paying the whole thing. We're just using little samples that normally could get you in trouble in YouTube. You just never know anymore. And they're a little bit more free in what you can say and what you can discuss. So Second Renaissance Week, we're going to be spending a lot of time over at Odyssey and over at YouTube as well. So make sure you check that out.
Don't make any plans for this week.
That's right. Yeah, like Rare Breed. He said,
seriously, it's going to be some good shows this week.
Like Rare Breed said, I had to go to my sister's graduation. Listen, the show comes first. I don't know what to tell you. Shout out to the Funk.
You couldn't get the school to move that fucking graduation up a couple hours?
They should have. Next time, call me. I'll get Rafael Shapiro on the horn. He'll straighten things out. Shout out to the Funk Tapus for his contribution. He put a super chat. He says, I didn't see the Charlo fight because I don't have Showtime because Showtime is racist. All right. I don't know what that means. Sorry, I'm late. He says, did I miss anything? You missed a whole bunch. What's the matter? What's the matter with you? You got to rewind now. He says, Salari, search it out. Also, Ramirez looked good, but that poor German was nothing but cannon fodder. Well, shout out to the Funktopus for that twinner. That's what they call it here in Canada, the twinner, when it's a 20. And, shout out to the Funktopus. No, man, you didn't like that. The Zurdo fight, I didn't even bother watching it. I know Gonzalo's on about how Zurdo's a 200-pounder on fight night and all that, but if he's not finding anybody of note, him and Munguia, I'm really getting tired of that bullshit, man. They're just they're undefeated. They got a glossy record, but they're not finding anybody.
Yep, nobody. The same exact thing, dude. And the thing is, Isidoro always talked that how the fucking he come from the gangster streets of Mexico, and you know what I mean. Like you listen to him talk his backstory, and then he goes in there and he just just doesn't fight anybody. He just doesn't. He's kind of a pretty boy, if you ask me. I think you know what I mean. Who just
what?
A pretty boy, like you know what I'm saying. Like he just cares more about his looks. A pretty boy, meaning like he's always making sure his hair's just right. If you see him outside the ring, he's someone who's obsessed with his looks. I just get that from him.
Okay, because I thought you were saying you found him pretty. I said, wait a minute, what? That's,
no, pretty boy mentality, meaning like his looks are the main thing to him. You know what I mean? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
yes, I do not want to have sex with him.
But Jimmy, like you said, what the fuck? There's a reason why Top Rank let him go, because he's probably not willing to make the moves, right? Fuck, that sounded suspect. What I'm saying is,
they didn't. Exactly, they wouldn't do it. He wouldn't fight. They offered him 2 fights, and Bob said one of them was actually a very winnable fight, and they just discarded it out of hand. Now, and Bob was like, "What are we doing here? Like, I'm fucking offering you fights, and you're turning them down. It's not like you even made my fucking promotion any money yet. You fucking financial drain," and cut him.
Yeah, man. I mean, and just for comparison wise here, he went life and death with Angulo. Meanwhile, Benavides took Angulo out. So it just goes to show you, like, Zurdo, look, he might train hard. I'm pretty sure he's got balls too. But there's also a difference in talent and skill. And Benavides, he just seems to be the better man.
Yeah, when he's touching you up with combinations, when he have the time to work, basically, because his opponent is not offering any resistance. Yeah, it looks nice. But having with somebody is coming at you at a different speed, he's going to look fucking ordinary. We saw that in OBDA. Did you guys see that prior to this fight?
Yeah, I remember when he fought also a mobile Eastern European dude who wasn't really even that good, but he just had good footwork. Just the footwork alone made Zurdo look bad. He couldn't set his feet and he couldn't land anything of note. So, it's put him in there against the punching bag. Some European guy that can hit hard and doesn't have good hand speed and who's just gonna stand there. He's gonna look fantastic. But put him in there against some of the other top light heavyweights. I don't know if he beats them. Just don't know.
Nope. I think Beterbiev knocks him out, and I think Bivol gives him a boxing lesson at light heavyweight, in my opinion. I just want to say, too, about Jermell before we hang up. I want to say, man, I got to give him props, too. I just can't stress that enough. He showed dog last night. He took hard shots. Oh, I did mention that. And he didn't peel out of the pocket like he did the first fight. Instead, he stayed in the pocket, and he exchanged it. And like you said, he got the best of him. In most cases, he followed up with that hook. He knew to peel out of it after landing his shot, because there's nothing worse than taking shots and peeling out, because that's a lasting impression. You know what I mean? You always want to make sure you're the last person to land a good shot getting out of a break.
And not for nothing too, but he didn't clinch as much. He was starting to clinch a little early, and I said, boy, here we go. But then he didn't. And that's the other thing. If you're going to back up, like I said earlier, you're going to back up, you got to let your hands go. You can't, because let me tell you, if he would have tried to pot shot and clinch, it wouldn't have worked. He would have been outworked like he did the first time. So he's got to, if you're backing up against a good pressure fighter, you got no choice. You got to let your hands go, especially if you got power. If you got power, there's no reason why you should be pot shotting.
And one of the best exercises I can tell anybody, if you train yourself out there, guys, one of the best things to learn to back out properly. And if you have access to, well, it doesn't have to be a ring, but any one, flat area training, tie a string about the height of your chest, nipple area, and then go from, back and forth, head up, always looking forward, up through your eyes, bend under the string, push up on it, one shoulder, go back under, push up, but do that going forward and backward. And that's how you learn how to back out of things in the proper position. And it doesn't seem like Charlo, he doesn't back out of things right. Left hand down, chin up. That's the reason why he was being caught with that right hand a lot.
I guess it also sets a precedent, like, if you think that the guy's running, he's not. So moving forward, the judges, they'll take that into account, that's part of his strategy. So you kind of have to look, he's backing up for a reason, because ultimately he's trying to catch you with good counters. Then he's getting the knockouts, and we got to see that. That's part of his game plan. Not saying that's how you're supposed to do it all the time, but it was working for him against this opponent.
That's right.
And what he was doing last time, clinching as a part of like, it was almost like, all right, I don't know what to do with this position. Like he would just lead off with, like, remember a few times you reached out and grabbed? There was a time in boxing where if you did that more than a few times in a round or a couple of times around, the ref would stop, warn you. Like you just can't reach out and grab somebody. You know what I mean? It used to be considered a foul. It's amazing how they let him get away with it nowadays. I'm done. That was it.
Those guys are soft, man. Those referees, they pick and choose, or they get told when to apply the rules. In any event, we do have to go. We got Second Renaissance material to work on, so shout out to everybody out there for joining us, everybody that donated with the super chat, everybody that called in, of course the panelists. Guys, couldn't do it without you. Really happy to have Bucho here, Jimmy, Gonzalo, and like I said, everybody that called in. And hey, everybody in the chat room as well, you guys know who you are. I want to give a shout out to One Foot Out the Door, Hawker Mustang, Chase Athletics, Rapax Trucking Company, Don Ramon Champ, Funcrites, J Money, shout out to J Money, Eparkua, Jason, Uncle Pete was there as well, J&P, Super Sardonic, and many more people. Guys, I gotta go, but you guys know who you are. We'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget to check out Second Renaissance on YouTube and Odyssey. It's gonna be Second Renaissance week, so stay tuned for that, fellas. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch you in the next one, fellas. Take it easy. Thanks for watching.
What are you going to do about it? Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. Lobito! Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get